From Capital Credit Union Park in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, Rockford Rivets baseball is on the air as the Rivets get set for the final game of the 2020 campaign as they take on the Green Bay Booyah. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast alongside Adam Cohen. I'm Larry Larson, and Adam, last night the Rivets were eliminated from playoff contention after losing 4-0 against Green Bay here in Ashwaubenon. And it was certainly a frustrating game, but today they're playing for fun and they're playing for pride.
Just to speak on yesterday's loss a little bit, stranding base runners has been a problem the last 3 games. They stranded 8 yesterday, left runners with bases loaded and 2 men out, and runners with second and third and 2 men out. They also struck out 16 times, and most of them were looking. So it was a tough game offensively. Starting pitching-wise and pitching-wise as a whole, they look good. So even though they did have the loss, they're going to be playing a lot of people today. It's just for fun. They're enjoying themselves for the last game of the regular season.
Sometimes when you're eliminated, that's just what you got to do. You got to have fun, and that's why we're playing, right? Taking a look at the Green Bay side of things, last night they clinched their first playoff appearance since 2015, back when they were the Bullfrogs in another stadium, and now they will break in their first playoff appearance under the Booyah name. They enter this one with a record of 18-27. Rockford enters with a record of 15-27. A matchup of Wisconsin-Illinois East rivals, the final matchup between these two this season. Before the game, we chatted with manager JT Scara for the final time this season. Let's take a listen at what he had to say on the Rockford Rivets pregame show. Larry Larson here with Rivets manager JT Scara. JT, it's been a ride over these last 14 days. What have been the highlights, really?
Well, the highlights have been just watching some of these kids grow and learn, and the back-to-back games of 16 runs and then 12 runs, and just competing and the relationships you built. It's been a lot of fun.
It has. You guys able to come out with one win against one of the best teams in the league, that coming against Fond du Lac, and here in Green Bay, you guys were in contention until the second to last day of the season. What do you think that says about your team's fight?
Well, they're full of fight. I've loved every minute of being with the kids and competing. So my hat's off to these kids for everything that they accomplished and hopefully developed, and we can send them off to their respective 4-year schools a little bit ahead of their teammates, and their coaches will hopefully be impressed.
Last days of the season are always interesting when you're not in playoff contention, obviously. Just out here playing for pride, what can we expect from your team, your lineup, your pitching staff today?
Well, we're going to try to get everybody in. So we've had some things kind of, lined up for, had we won these couple games, what the pitching would look like the potential next 2 days, and obviously that didn't happen. So I'm going to try to get everybody in, and offensively we're going to get some of the guys in that haven't maybe got as many at bats, but as long as somebody's keeping score, we're still going to try to win, and so we'll have some guys on the bench. So whether it's a defensive replacement or an offensive pinch runner, pinch hitter situation, we'll manage the game accordingly, but we're going to try to get everybody some time today.
One guy who's been in the lineup pretty much every day, who's really tearing it up right now, Jackson Dvorak. What have you seen from him that's been going right with his batting average up near 350 now?
Well, he really knows the game, and he's older. His career should be done, but if not for the COVID year this past year, so he's already played 4 years of collegiate baseball. I think 3 summers of summer collegiate league, and he was one of the guys that was playing in a different league but before he came up here, so it doesn't surprise me. But I've just really been impressed with the way he carries himself and the leadership, and he's taken some of the younger guys under his wing and also been kind of an extra coach. And I thought about sitting him today to get some of the other guys' time in, but he hasn't taken anything off, and I just decided this would probably be the last summer collegiate game he ever plays because he'll run out of eligibility, and so I wanted him in there.
Dvorak back in the top spot today, and one of those younger guys I'm sure you speak of
Breck Nowick along with Noah DeLuga. And I know Noah's kind of been begging you to play some outfield. Do you think we're going to see that today?
I'm not sure about that. No, he's got a bright future ahead of him pitching-wise. Maybe he'll get an at-bat today, maybe not. I still haven't decided. We'll see what the situation of the game is. But, yes, Noah has asked me almost daily if he can hit batting practice.
Well, that's pretty much all I got. Any last thoughts on the season, our final interview heading into the final game?
It's been fun with these kids, like I've already said. They haven't stopped competing, and there's a bright future ahead for a lot of these guys, whether it's in baseball or life. I've had no issues whatsoever, off the field. They've all carried themselves the way they should. So, I'm really excited about the relationships that have been formed, and seeing what happens for these kids going forward.
JT, I'm excited to see what happens for you going forward. Thanks for your time all season.
Thanks for having me, Larry.
Welcome back to CCU Park in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, just outside Green Bay. The Rivets and Booyah set to get underway in about 4 minutes, but it's time for the national anthem. We'll take a short break and be right back with their starting lineups after this on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Rockford Rivets and Green Bay Booyah. The final game of the 2020 summer season is about to get underway at Capital Credit Union Park in Ashwaubenon. Let's get you tonight's starting lineups first for the visiting Rockford Rivets. Leading off and playing right field, Jackson Dvorak, the hottest hitter in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod, arguably coming in with a batting average of .341. Batting second and playing left field, Colton Klein, the junior from Carthage. Bradley Vondruska, the sophomore from Milwaukee Area Technical College, bats third and plays DH. Justin Karestis bats cleanup and plays first base. Brian Sturdivant bats fifth. Kyle Hamilton bats sixth in his final baseball game of his career, the graduated senior from UW Stout. Troy Tucci will play center field. Austin Robinson will bat eighth and catch. And Simon Dembach bats ninth and will play third base. The Rivets will square off against Jacob Pink. We'll get to him in a moment. Quickly, the Green Bay lineup. Colin Clefman bats leadoff and plays shortstop. Cameron Tilley, the junior from Akron, will play first base. Nadir Lewis will play left field and bat third. Weston Eberly, the freshman from Columbia, will do the catching. Trent Bauer will be in right field, the senior from Western Illinois. Stephen Harustich is tonight's DH for the Booyah, will bat sixth. Noah Granite bats seventh and plays second base. Ty Olnick, the redshirt freshman from UW Milwaukee, will be the center fielder. And Nick Santoro rounds it out for Tom Cardy's squad. He'll play third base. The Rivets will pitch Tyler Venditti. So, Adam, the pitching matchup, Jacob Pink and Tyler Venditti. Venditti's only going to go around 2 innings, but we could expect a little bit of distance from Jacob Pink, the junior from Viterbo.
He maybe could go around 3 or 4 innings, but he's not going to be too long in this ball game either. As just 1 inning thrown this season for Green Bay, and obviously they're saving up their players for their playoff matchup against Fond du Lac tomorrow.
Green Bay will play postseason baseball. Rockford does not have such fate. Jackson Dvorak steps in the right-handed batter's box. Rockford in their road grays, and Green Bay in their plaid tops and white pants. Pink works from the stretch, kicks and fires the first pitch. Dvorak grounds it to shortstop. Colin Clefman ranges towards the bag, picks it up and throws onto first in time to retire the senior from Lewis. And there's 1 away, just getting underway in the top half of the first in Green Bay.
Jackson Dvorak many times this season has swung at the first pitch. A lot of times he found success, but that one was just a rollover to the shortstop. Not a bad idea to go in the first pitch, especially from a team that had a lot of looking calls in last night's ball game.
16 strikeouts for the Rivets last night. Colton Klein, the number 2 batter, steps in the left-handed batter's box. Righty against lefty. He squares to bunt and pulls back and takes a strike right down the middle from Pink. Pink standing at 6 foot. Weighing in at 240 pounds, the St. Paul, Minnesota native works from the left side of the rubber and fires the 0-1. He misses down low, and it's 1-1. Last night, Colton Klein was just 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He's reached in 8 straight ball games. He's played in all 13. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and grounded through the hole on the right side into right field for a 1-out single for the junior from Carthage.
Klein getting the Rivets started off on the night pretty well, just finding that hole into right field. He's really a 5-tool player. We saw him hit some balls over the 282 monster in batting practice, but it also hit some hard-hit ground balls. With his speed, it could always bode in his favor, too.
He has 1 stolen base as Bradley Vondruska, the sophomore from Milwaukee Area Technical College, steps in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch from Pink. Misses low and away. Looks like some off-speed. And it's 1-0. Vondruska did not play last night, but he's been a facet in the lineup every once in a while for JT Scare. He's played in 8 games with an on-base percentage of .292. Klein goes. The pitch misses upstairs, and it's not caught by Eberly. So Klein swipes second base, and there's a runner in scoring position for Vondruska.
Larry, this could be a common theme for the Screws tonight. Might have a lot more runners going, be more aggressive. They're just having fun, of course. No playoff implications involved, and Klein getting a second stolen base of the season.
Opportunity for Vondruska to pick up his 4th RBI of the summer. 2-0. Time was called beforehand. Pink threw it anyways. Looked like it probably would have been a strike, but it doesn't matter. Still 2-0.
Always taught to finish a throw as a pitcher. Helps to avoid injury.
Pink sets with an open stance. Klein takes his lead off second. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball in there for a called strike on the lower outside corner to the righty Vondruska, and it's 2-1. Vondruska holds the bat out towards Pink on the mound, brings it back behind his helmet. Closed batting stance for the DH. The pitch misses low. Nice block by Eberly, keeps Klein at second base, and now it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Larry, you talked about that closed batting stance. Vondruska's right foot his front foot is ahead of his bottom foot. just a bit closer to the line, and usually you'll see open or about even, but he's a little bit different in that respect.
Here's the set, and the 3-1. Called strike at letter height. Vondruska thought it was ball 4. He tossed his bat towards the Rockford dugout, but now he has to retrieve it and get set for the 3-2 pitch.
It was a bit of a late call from home plate umpire Mike Carr. Connor McKenzie also at first, and Trevor Patience at third. That's how the umpiring crew lines things up.
Pink sets for the payoff to Vondruska. Fouled off, and we'll do it again. Rivets with a man on second base. Scoreless ball game, top half of the first with 1 away. A chance for the Rivets to strike first. Final game of the summer. This new squad has won just 1 game, taking over for a roster that really departed mid-season after a 6-day hiatus. Here's the 3-2 again, swung on and missed. Klein goes down to third. The throw is in time to get him. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the top half of the first. Rockford is held scoreless. It's Rivets, nothing. Green Bay coming up on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. Headed to the bottom half of the first of the final game of the 2020 season for the Rockford Rivets. 0-0 ball game between the Rivets and Booyah. It'll be Colin Cleffman, Cameron Tilley, and Nadir Lewis, the top third of the Booyah order, out to face Rockford starter Tyler Venditti.
As mentioned earlier, Larry Venditti not going to be too long in this ball game. Around 2 innings of work due for him, but he had a miss outing against Wisconsin Rapids last time around. Gave it 4 earned and 4 innings pitched. So they're hoping for a little bit better results this time around too.
Venditti, the right-handed pitcher from Waubonsie Community College. He's a sophomore there, and he fires the first pitch way up high to Colin Cleffman, the redshirt freshman from UW La Crosse. He's played in 11 games, coming in as a late season addition for Booyah manager Tom Carty. Venditti working from the stretch, fires the 1-0, and it's popped up sky high on the infield. Coming in as the third baseman, Dembeck, ranging towards the mound, and makes the catch with one hand. And just 2 pitches results in the first out for Venditti.
So both Venditti and Pink have been economical with the first batters. A nice play by Dembeck to hold on to it. Had to range towards his right a little bit and had to avoid Venditti as well, but still made the catch, of course.
Scoreless ball game, bottom half of the first. And now Cameron Tilley, the junior from Akron, playing first base for the Booyah tonight, steps into the right-handed batter's box, and Venditti misses high and in with the first pitch. Tilly didn't move out of the batter's box as if to say, I'm not scared, despite the high cheese there, and it's 1-0. Tilly last night for Green Bay had his first multi-hit game of the season. He was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. 1-0. Swung on and fouled off the front foot of Tilly, and it's back even at 1.
Tilly goes to Akron University, and the city of Akron is also famous for LeBron James. So that's kind of a good way of remembering Tilly a little bit.
Just a kid from Akron. Cameron Tilly lays off the 1-1 pitch. Venditti went to the breaking ball there, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Tilly has just 3 multi-RBI games this season, but 2 of them have come against the Rockford Rivets. Good reason he's in the lineup today is that 2-1 is in there for a called strike. Excuse me, that missed outside, just outside by a bit. Catcher Austin Robinson couldn't bring it back in the zone, and it's 3-1. Venditti working quickly, sets at the letters, and delivers the 3-1. Line to shortstop, but right on a hop to Brian Sturdivant. He steps and throws in time to Justin Carestis at first base. And there's 2 up, 2 down for the Booyah in the bottom half of the first. We're scoreless.
That was a sharp one-hopper hit to Vondruska. That's one of the reasons why a lot of players enjoy playing on turf. The hops are true. That one was just perfectly into the glove of Vondruska. Very easy play for the second out of the inning. Oh, Sturdivant actually at shortstop. My mistake for the scorebook.
Vondruska, the DH, not in the field tonight. 2 down for Nadir Lewis. Righty against lefty. The first pitch in there for a called strike. Fastball right down the middle at the letters to the sophomore from Princeton. Lewis last night was 1 for 3 with a walk and a stolen base. He's got a hit in 2 of his last 3. 0-1 to him, swung on and missed, and it's quickly 0-2. Venditti in good position for his first strikeout tonight.
Lewis can work the count, though. Has a .335 on-base percentage.
0-2 pitch. Misses high and away. Lewis not tempted to chase the high fastball there. That has been Venditti's miss. High and in 2 righties. High and away 2 lefties. He sets and fires the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And it's a 1-2-3 first frame for the Rockford right-hander. After 1, Rockford nothing, Green Bay nothing. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. Scoreless ball game in the top half of the second from Capital Credit Union Park in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Technically Ashwaubenon, just outside of Green Bay. Rivets and Booyah playing their final game of the regular season in 2020. It'll be Justin Carestis, Brian Sturdivant, and Kyle Hamilton, middle third of the Rockford order, facing Jacob Pink, who sent the Rivets down facing the minimum in the first, and he fires the first pitch to Carestis. Fastball taken low by the left-handed hitter. Carestis, the high school senior, Rockford native, playing first base tonight. Pink sets at the belt and delivers the 1-0. Swung on, grounded the other way to third base. Nick Santoro fields, steps twice, and throws in time to Cameron Tilley. And there's one out in the top half of the first. We're scoreless.
Pink is starting off where Jack Dyke, the starter from yesterday, left off. He's limiting weak contact early on, and as you mentioned, Larry, he could go a little bit deeper than perhaps a few innings today, go as long as needs to for the Green Bay Booyah. They don't want too many of the relievers pitching in. So this would be a good start for him tonight.
Working from the stretch from the entire time. Fires the first pitch to Brian Sturdivant, who offers and pops it into right field. Trent Bauer takes a few steps in and makes the catch head high. And there's quickly 2 down in the second frame. 0-0 ball game.
We're seeing more and more in baseball with the first pitch curveball, and Sturdivant was all over it. It was a hanger, and he just got a little bit underneath it. He was looking to go opposite field of it, looking towards that 282 Blue Monster, but just did not get all of that one.
Short porch in right field here, 282, conducive to left-handed batters. Now one steps in the box for Rockford, Kyle Hamilton. Time is called as a ball escapes the Rockford bullpen. Barrett Bell already up and warming. As we've mentioned, Tyler Venditti will only go 2 innings, so the rest will be the bullpen. Barrett Bell will go 1 inning, and at least 8 pitchers will see action for Rockford tonight. Here's the first pitch from Jacob Pink to Kyle Hamilton. Slow curveball in there for a called strike just below the knees to the Rockford second baseman, standing at 5'8" in the left-handed batter's box, playing his final game of his baseball career. Wrapped up his collegiate career this spring at UW Stout. Of course, the season was shortened. He grounds the curveball right up the middle to the shortstop, Colin Clefman, who fields behind the bag and throws in time to retire a hustling Hamilton. 3 up, 3 down in the top half of the first for Rockford. And it's Green Bay 0, Rockford 0 in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. Bottom half of the second in Capital Credit Union Park in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. Scoreless ball game between the Rockford Rivets and Green Bay Booyah. Thanks for joining us for the final game of the 2020 season for the Rockford Rivets. Final home game for the Green Bay Booyah. They will be making the playoffs. They'll play tomorrow. Tyler Venditti out for a second inning of work. He'll face the middle third of the Green Bay order, starting with Western Eberle, who swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Eberle, the freshman from Columbia, played last night and was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Adam, let me tell you, this Green Bay team, not only are they good at baseball, but they're smart, as the 0-1 misses high and in. To Eberle, whenever you've got a guy from Columbia and 2 guys from Princeton, I think your collective team IQ is going to be higher than a lot of other teams. Venditti sets and delivers the 1-1. Almost hits Eberle, but it's a called strike as Venditti caught the inner black, and it's 1-2.
These could be the type of players who are up there in the team GPA for their respective teams, something that's always important in collegiate baseball.
1-2 on the way. Chopper to Hopper to third base. Simon Dembeck fields at the chest, throws sidearm to Justin Carestis, who jumps to make the play over his head, and he landed on the bag. So the out is recorded. Eberle is retired. Another quick out for Tyler Venditti. Scoreless in the bottom half of the second. Rivets and Booyah.
Dembeck had a lot of time on that one, but was unable to get the accurate throw. Fortunately, though, he got the ball so quickly that Carestis was able to come down in the bag just in the nick of time.
One away now for Trent Bauer, the left-handed batter. First pitch. Fastball misses outside, and it's 1-0. Bauer, the senior from Western Illinois, has played 8 games for the Booyah, enters this one with a 125 batting average. 1-0 to him. Fastball finds the zone that time right down the middle at knee height, and it's 1-1.
Larry, according to some managers, batting average is not the biggest indicator anymore. It's on base percentage. It's on OBP of 391.
It's telling as he takes a strike right down the middle yet again, and it's 1-2. As the famous line in the movie Moneyball goes, does he get on base? Base runners are really what matters as long as you got somebody to drive them in. Here's the 1-2 from Venditti. Poked out to the opposite field, falling fast, and it drops in front of Rockford left fielder Colton Klein. And it's a 1-out single for Trent Bauer. And he gets on base.
Great piece of 2-strike hitting from Trent Bauer. He tried going the other way, just trying to get bat to ball. Did a nice job, and that one was blooped in front of Colton Klein for the first base hit of Green Bay.
First hit for Green Bay. Rockford picked up their first hit in the first inning. Now there's a runner on for Stephen Hrustich, the switch hitter. Right-handed batter, takes high. He's listed as a switch hitter, Adam, but he's batting right-handed against the righty Venditti, so I suppose he's not a switch batter.
He batted lefty yesterday, though, sometimes, so he's maybe just trying to get at-bats from both sides of the plate.
1-0. Swung on and tapped down the first base line. It rolls foul. Austin Robinson and Venditti let that one roll just past the line. Now the count is 1-1. Hrustich will have to make the walk back to the plate.
Guess Venditti and Robinson thought that'd be a tough play if they were to get that one and try to throw it around Hrustich to first base. Wouldn't have been easy, and maybe they could have gotten out from it, but they decided to play it safe.
You might as well, and this artificial turf, an all-turf field here in Green Bay. No dirt anywhere on this field, even around home plate. Venditti sets for the 1-1. Long pause and now delivers. Fastball swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. But Adam, it's not very often you see a field with no dirt. Even around the plate, all artificial turf. Even the mound is plastic and turf. This field is shared with a soccer team here in Green Bay, so once the Booyah are done for the season, it's all soccer. 1-2 to Hrustich, but Venditti steps off, and now they've got Bauer caught in between first and second. He dives into second safely. The throw from Carestis, the first baseman, took Sturdivant, the shortstop, too far from the bag, and he couldn't get around to tag Bauer. And now there's a runner in scoring position with one away for Hrustich. We're scoreless in the bottom half of the second.
That will be scored a stolen base, but that should have a star next to it. High throw from Venditti, another bad offline throw from Carestis, and that's why he's standing on second base.
Now Venditti has a little bit of work to do. 1-2 to Hrustich. Curve ball low and away. Check swing. He did not go, says first base umpire Connor McKenzie. The count is back even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hrustich, the freshman from Northwestern, was 0 for 4 last night with a strikeout. It's 1 for his last 24. 2-2. Swung on and popped up well foul down the left field side, and it bounces on the concourse right into some fans, and we'll do the 2-2 over.
Larry, that 1 for 24 skid is surprising for Hrustic because early on the season when the Rivets played Green Bay, he was the most potent threats in the lineup. He still has power, but surprising to see him bat so low with batting average, just 172.
He does have 3 homers to his name. 2-2 from Venditti. Ground ball to shortstop. Sturdivant fields backhand and throws on to first in time for the second out of the inning. Stopping at second base and not moving to third is Trent Bauer. And now Venditti is an out away of escaping a mini jam in the bottom of the second. 0-0 ball game.
As mentioned earlier, Venditti is allowed weak contact, 3 ground balls, and a pop-up as well as a strikeout. He's been wheeling and dealing today.
So now it's up to Noah Granite, the freshman from Princeton, to bring Bauer around from second base. First pitch to him. It hits him right on the number in the right-handed batter's box. So now there's 2 on and 2 out for Ty Olnick.
Getting hit by a pitch is, of course, never fun, but on the back makes it a little bit easier. Just you can hear this loud thud off the back and kind of reverberate around the stadium, so everyone kind of gasped for a second.
Getting hit on the back is really one of the best places you could get hit. That's how you're taught to take a hit by pitch, is just turn with your back facing the pitcher. Here's the first pitch to Olnick, swung on and missed. For strike 1, a fastball with some tailing action away from the lefty. Redshirt freshman from UW Milwaukee was 0 for 2 last night with a walk and a strikeout. He's 0 for 7 in his last 3. Venditti fires the 0-1. Fastball that time misses low, and it's back even at 1 apiece.
Olnick is one of the 5 original position players for Green Bay's roster. They have 11 original players in total, comparative to the Rivets 1 and Noah DeLuga.
1-1 on the way. Popped up to the left side. Coming on is Colton Klein, the left fielder. He calls off the infielders and makes the play for the 3rd out of the inning. So it's 2 scoreless innings from Tyler Venditti, and the score remains Rockford 0, Green Bay 0 after 2 innings from CCU Park. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Radio. It's Rivets 0, Booyah 0, headed to the top half of the 3rd in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The final game of the 2020 season for the Rockford Rivets. Green Bay will play in a playoff game tomorrow against Fond du Lac. Rockford will send up 7, 8, 9 in their order, starting with Troy Tucci, the junior from Rockford University. He's gotten minimal starts down the stretch of his season. Here's the first pitch from Jacob Pink. Fastball misses inside and gets all the way to the backstop, and it's 1-0. Tucci has good speed at him, but his bat has struggled lately. And as a result, he's just gotten 4 at-bats in his last 5 games. 1-0 pitch. Fastball check swing, but it's a called strike anyway, and it's 1-1.
And one of the reasons why it could be struggling is because he hasn't gotten consistent playing time. It's hard to get yourself into a groove when that doesn't happen.
The set and the 1-1 from Pink. Curveball misses low. It had nice 12-6 action to the right-hander Tucci. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. But Adam, JT Scara, surprisingly under these circumstances, has a lot of position players. The 2-1 is on the way, and it's bounced, and it's 3-1. But outfielders were rare at the beginning of this 14-day stretch in which the Rivets are playing with really a replacement roster after the original 33 players departed. Pink sets for the 3-1 and delivers. Chopped down the third base line, picked up by Santoro. He throws on to first, but the ball is ruled foul by third base umpire Trevor Patience. Now the count is 3-2. But Adam, it's really surprising that the Rivets were able to get as many position players as they did, and as a result, some guys are just getting the short end of the stick.
Originally, they were only supposed to have 10 players return to the team, but it turned out to be 1 because of the coronavirus hiatus, and coaches wanted them back at school earlier on. So find almost 25-plus players, and even though they have more outfitters, some of them are getting short end of the stick because they're getting judged with their bats quickly and early on.
Pink sets at the belt, takes a deep breath, lifts his leg, and delivers the 3-2, swung on and missed. And Troy Tucci is retired on strikes for the first out of the top half of the third. Green Bay nothing, Rockford nothing.
Even though Tucci struck out earlier in the at-bat, it looked like he was close to having a base hit. Hit a ground ball directly on the third base line. It was hugging it, and it just veered off foul. If it was a fair ball, he would have been safe at first base with a base knock.
So now there's 1 away for Austin Robinson, the 8 batter. The freshman from Milwaukee Area Technical College waits for the first pitch and offers and pops it up down the right side. First baseman Tilley in foul territory, backpedals and makes the catch over his head. And quickly, there's 2 down in the Rockford third inning.
This game has been cruising along. Can't say it enough. Weak contact, soft pop flies, softly hit ground balls, and both pitchers have been working excellently thus far.
So now it's up to Simon Dembeck to avoid another 1-2-3 inning from Jacob Pink. First pitch to the Milwaukee Area Technical College Stormer is a curveball down the middle for a called strike. Dembeck is just 1 for 10 in 5 games played as a position player. He's also a pitcher, one of a few two-way guys for JT Scara and company. 0-1, another curveball. That one bounces in the artificial turf well out in front of home plate, and it's 1-1.
Other players include Justin Karestis and Sam Vomhoff as two-way players on this team.
Sam Peterson, a sidearm guy, has played a little position player as the 1-2 is in there for a called strike. Excuse me, that was the 1-1 pitch, and now it's 1-2. Dembeck's sporting just 1 batting glove on his top hand in the right-handed batter's box as the 1-2 is on the way. Taken low. Fastball bounced in front of the plate again, and it's 2-2.
I always thought it was a little weird to just have 1 batting glove. I can understand no batting gloves or 2, but to each their own.
Pink fires the 2-2. Misses low, and now it's full. 2 full counts here in the Rockford third inning. First on Troy Tucci, who struck out swinging. Pink looking to face the minimum through 3 innings in a scoreless ball game. Here's the payoff pitch. Grounded to third base, ranging to his left is Santoro. Fields and throws on to first in time to end the third inning. Jacob Pink is cruising along, and he's only allowed 1 base runner through 3 innings of work. And it's Rockford nothing, Green Bay nothing after 2.5 from CCU Park. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. Welcome back to CCU Park in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. Rivets and Booyah tied in a scoreless ball game. Headed to the bottom half of the third. Barrett Bell is on for Rockford after Tyler Venditti throws two scoreless innings.
The William Jewell product making his 4th appearance for the Screws. Went 3 innings last time around, giving it 1 earned run and 6 Ks against the Dot Spiders.
Works from the windup and fires the first pitch to Nick Santoro and draws the big hack and a miss. And it's 0-1. Santoro, the redshirt junior from UW Whitewater, has a few teammates on this Rockford squad. Bell quickly back to work, kicks and delivers the 0-1. It's grounded to shortstop. Backhanded field by Sturdivant, who bounces the throw to Carestis, and he makes the pick off the artificial turf for the first out of the inning. Nice play by Carestis, backing up Barrett Bell, and there's one away.
Rivets' first basemen have been awfully good defensively this season. Dvorak had a couple of nice hits helping out Noah yesterday. Now Carestis helping out his teammate Sturdivant.
That's what you got to do as a first baseman sometimes. Not all throws are going to be perfect. Bell has his sign, works from the windup, and fires the first pitch to Colin Clefman. It's in there for a called strike. Clefman, the leadoff batter for the Booyah, popped out to third base back in the first frame. Redshirt freshman awaits the 0-1. Fastball down the middle, taken for strike 2, and Bell is all over the zone.
He's all over the zone. He must be happy that he's on the mound today. He wasn't sure originally, as he had a Zoom call scheduled during the game, but as a teammate listening in and taking notes so that he can continue.
0-2. Fastball misses high. So, Adam, his classes have started, you're telling me?
I don't know if they've exactly started, but it was something school-related, and he couldn't really miss it.
Well, he's missing it, and he winds and fires the 1-2 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed by Clefman, and there's quickly 2 away. Bell picks up his first strikeout, second strikeout by a Booyah batter tonight. There's 2 down in the bottom half of the third of a scoreless ball game.
Rivets pitching has excelled the last 2 days. Bell pitching off where Venditti left off. And he's been dominant so far of these first 2 batters.
Now it'll be up to Cameron Tilley to avoid back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. First pitch to the Australia native misses low and away. Bell went to the curveball on first pitch there. It's really something that we've seen from every pitcher in the Northwoods League this year. They've really tried to throw that breaking ball first pitch if they're comfortable. 1-0 misses up high above the helmet of Tilley, who ducks out of the way, and it's 2-0.
Where you can almost kind of tell how comfortable a pitcher is with their curveball or throwing the first pitch, because that must mean they have control of the strike zone. They're not afraid to dunk it in there for a strike.
2-0, swung on and missed. Bell went to the fastball there and buried it low in the zone. Now it's 2-1 on Tilley. And Adam, hearing major leaguers talk about it, they know that the only sure fastball count nowadays is 3-0. The 2-1 is fouled down the left side. Tilley out in front of it. It's back even at 2-2. But it used to be more often that pitchers would fire the fastball almost every time with the first pitch.
Pitchers really, since the 1970s, have taken off, and they have pitched behind the count. When batters are ahead like 3-1 or 3-2 or so, they'll go their off speed more often.
Bell fires the 2-2, and it hits Tilley in the helmet. And he's down in the right-handed batter's box. That hit him in the back of the helmet. You could hear a pin drop here at CCU Park. He's taking a knee. Back on 1 foot now, but still crouched as the trainer is out to attend.
Even with the protection from the helmet, it still reverberates around your head. Still can give a hard dent in there, and geez, he's been having it tough tonight. Several pitches, both from Venditti and Bell, have been really inside, and that one finally caught him.
Now Tilley hops back on both feet, but still crouching in the batter's box. Still with his head down. Now he stands up, gets a nice ovation from the crowd, and looks like he'll stay in the ball game and make the slow walk to first base, but now he'll wait up for the trainer. whenever you get a head injury, it's really nothing to play around with, and I'm sure Tilly, who is a catcher but tonight playing first base, has had his fair share of head injuries. Catchers get beat up with foul tips behind the plate. Of course, they've got their mask on, but nowadays in professional sports, concussion awareness is very prevalent, so teams are more often than not very cautious whenever something happens with your head, whether you have protection or not.
It comes with the position, but always scary when it does. And, of course, head injuries are so serious, and they should be taken seriously, which is a lot of more teams, baseball, football, basketball, you name it, are taking more into account and are having a lot better protocols.
So Tilly will stay in the game. Now he's on first base. 2 outs for Nadir Lewis. 0-0 ball game. First pitch to the sophomore from Princeton. Fastball misses low at about ankle level to the left fielder. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Lewis has usually found himself in the leadoff role for Green Bay, but drops down into 3-hole.
1-0. Fastball for a called strike on the outer black from Bell. Back even at 1-1. Sometimes that's what you got to do as a manager, Adam, late in the season. You got to give guys different roles, and Lewis had been a good leadoff man, but now they need his power lower in the order. Lefty's got 5 home runs, and the fastball is in there for a called strike. It's 1-2.
Even after the hit batsman, Bell coming right back to Lewis, ready to go.
Sets it to Bell and delivers the 1-2. Nadir Lewis grounds it foul down the right side. We'll do the 1-2 over again. Lewis protecting the zone there. Adam, the strike zone from Mike Carr has caught me off guard. I will not lie about that. There have been a few pitches outside that I thought missed the zone. It's hard to tell from our perspective. We're off to the right side of home plate. Bell fires the 1-2. Fastball misses outside. Now it's 2-2.
It's definitely a bit tough. Yesterday, Tweedcamp was a bit annoyed again. He didn't get more calls, but from my perspective, it looked good in the outside quarter because of the angle that we are positioned in.
Bell is ready for the 2-2. Line drive to first base, caught by Justin Carestis. He dropped to his knees to make the play. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. So Rockford pitching throws up another 0 as we're still scoreless after 3 innings in Green Bay. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Radio. Welcome back to CCU Park in Green Bay, Wisconsin. 0-0 ball game between the Rockford Rivets and the Green Bay Booyah. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. La Crosse and Wisconsin tied at 2 apiece at Copeland Park in La Crosse. And the one other game in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod, Wisconsin Rapids 2, Fond du Lac Dock Spiders nothing at Witter Field. For the next 3 innings, here's Adam Cohen.
Thank you, Larry. Starting off the top of the 4th at CCU Park in Swabinon, Wisconsin. Will be Dvorak, Klein, and Von Drusky against Jacob Pink, about to make his 4th inning of work. Pink pitching out of the stretch. And here comes the first pitch. Fastball misses high and outside. Dvorak in yesterday's game was one of the few bright spots in the lineup. Went 2 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. The 1-0 from Pink. Fastball misses inside, nearly clipped Dvorak on the elbow.
Adam, it seems like no matter what the Rivets as a team are doing, Dvorak is always hitting the ball hard, whether or not he finds a hit in his line score.
Pink coming back to the 2-0, and fastball clips the lower outside corner. He's been great this season, has 10 runs on the year. And you're right, Larry. It could be in the air, it could be on the ground, but just every time it's a hard hit ball. Get a radar gun in that man. Pink holds set now, wheels and deals a 2-1. That ball is rolled foul, third base side and out of play. And it's funny because Dvorak's the type of hitter that you can spot in the 3 spot and the 4 spot. He has great power too. Does have a triple in the season, has been really close to hitting one out as well. Pink gets his sign, lifts, and deals the 2-2. That ball smote deep into center field. Ranging back is Ty Olnick. He'll make the catch for out number 1 here at CCU Park in the top of the 4th, scoreless through 3+ innings.
Olnick kind of had an awkward catch there, Adam, out in center field. Looks like him and Nadir Lewis were converging on that ball, and Olnick backpedaled and made the catch well above his right shoulder with the glove hand, and you never want to backpedal as an outfielder. That's always dangerous.
Is the same as the scoreboard, the first pitch decline. That ball was smoked hard, but fouled towards the third base side. But perhaps Olnick was a bit wary of Lewis, as you mentioned. They both were converging, and then perhaps he had his eye on Lewis and not on the ball and had to range back towards the last moment. Pink comes set, lifts, and here comes the 0-1. Fastball misses low in the turf, not the dirt, because the entire CCU Park field is all turf, even the mound and home plate. 1-1 from Pink, and fastball just misses outside. Klein has the lone hit for the Screws in this ball game, but was caught stealing at third base to end the first. 2-1 to Klein. And a little tapper to second. Granite throws on to first in time for out number 2. Here in the top of the 4th at CCU Park, still scoreless through 3+.
The Rivets are putting the ball in play better than they were last night, Adam, so that's a positive step in the right direction, but they just can't find base hits. Klein had the lone hit and the lone really hard hit ball this game. I mean, Dvorak's fly out was somewhat hard hit, but the Rivets have no answer for Pink.
Now a ball comes into the field of play as Vondruska will take it away. And Larry, even though they are making more contact this game, it's not necessarily been hard, as you've mentioned. This team has regularly put the ball in play, one of the best contact hitting teams in the league. Usually it's hard hit, but we're not seeing that as frequently tonight. The first pitch to Vondruska, the DH, and the off-speed pitch misses upstairs. And yesterday was pretty insane as Jack Dite, the starter, had 5 looking strikeouts through the first 2 innings of work.
It's not what you want.
The 1-0-2 Vondruska. Vondruska lines one up the middle, so the broadcaster's James works into the Rivets' favor as he gets a 2-out base knock here in the 4th as Green Bay and the Screws are tied 0-0.
There you go. Sometimes you just need to see the ball well, and Vondruska has been after picking up that looking strikeout back in the first. And Adam, it has been a stark contrast between yesterday and today because the Screws are more aggressive. I think they got a little talking to from their coaching staff after that performance last night.
In all likelihood, they did. Right on left matchup to Caresses, the first pitch. Fastball in the dirt. It gets behind Eberle, and moving on to second is Vondruska, taking a wide turn. but he'll walk back into second base. So that one will be scored a wild pitch. And Larry, it was pretty wild. I know that Travis Patience had a wide strike zone yesterday, but there's a lot of pitches that were taken right down the pipe for strike 3. So it's nice to see the good change of pace here in the second game of a 2-game set. Final game of the season, the 1-0. Taken high and outside for a strike, even the count at 1-1.
Adam, you always have to protect with 2 strikes. That's something that I remember being taught as early as Little League. You always got to swing if it's close, if there are 2 strikes.
It is an important part of the game as Pink deals the 1-1 and their first strike at the knees. Actually, in my travel team, the coach would always yell at our players because they would strike out looking way too often. He always said if you're going to strike out, you always have to go down swinging.
Well, you might as well. If you're going to record an out, you can say you tried.
Pink looking for his third strikeout, the 1-2, and that one fouled off the leg of Carestis. So we'll do it again. And to start contrast that you mentioned earlier, the Screw's been swinging more at the first pitch, and at least in the later innings so far of this ball game, they have been lengthening the at-bat as well, which could work in their favor with a runner on second base. The 1-2 from Pink, never foul ball off the leg from Carestis. Almost identical.
Yeah, and you can tell he's shaking up a little bit after that one, walking around a bit gingerly outside the batter's box, but he's okay. They didn't catch too much meat on that front foot.
He does not sport a shin guard. Some players like it, some players don't. Each to their own. Once again, here comes the 1-2 to Carestis. Takes a fastball high and outside. Stands at a tall 6'3", as one of 3 high school seniors on this Rivets team. The other 2 being Noah DeLuga and Brett Nowick. Pink pitching from the stretch still. Runner on second base. The 2-2. Ball fouled off. Carestis having a really good at-bat right now, trying to drive in the first run of the ball game as it is scoreless through 3+ innings.
You can tell Carestis is really wanting to avoid a strikeout. He's been prone to those throughout his 8-game stretch as a Rivet, but you got to swing at anything close, and he's done well with that here, and he's got a good eye for the zone. He's not swung at anything outside.
He's protecting right now, the 2-2, and a big swing and a miss, an off-speed pitch away. So Pink wraps up his 3rd strikeout of the game, and the Screws strand a base runner. Scoreless through 3.5 here at CCU Park. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Rivets Baseball. If you're just tuning in, it's the last game of the season, and it is a scoreless ball game here at Capital Credit Union Park, and there's a new pitcher for the Strews. It is the two-way player in Sam Vomhoff. Vomhoff is a redshirt sophomore from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater and pitching from the right side. Now the third pitcher in the game for the Strews.
A sign of what's to come.
First pitch to Eberle. In there for a strike on the inside corner. 4-5 sits for the Booyah here in the bottom of the fourth. Vomhoff lifts and deals the 0-1. Ball smote through the hole into left field. Dembet gave it a cautionary dive, but was not close to getting that one. It was hit way too hard as the Booyah have their first leadoff base runner all game long.
And Adam, that's just their second hit, and that's been testament to the Rivets pitching, which has been good all night. And I think we're going to see a low-scoring ball game tonight, considering Rockford is going to throw so many arms at the Booyah. They're not going to have a chance to really get their timing adjusted, as no pitcher, other than Venditti, the starter, is going to go more than 2 innings. More than 1 inning, I should say.
Around 8 pitchers projected to go. The first pitch to the lefty, grounded to short. Could be a double play. There's one to second, on to first, but not in time as Trent Bauer is way too fast. So he will reach on the fielder's choice to put out going 6-4 if you're scoring at home. So 1 away here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 0-0 ball game between the Rivets and Green Bay.
Adam, that turn was just a bit too slow. Sturdivant didn't flip it quick enough to Hamilton, and the transfer wasn't quick enough from Hamilton either.
Right and right matchup to Hrustic takes a fastball right down the pipe for strike 1. Turn was a bit slow, but it was also a softly hit ground ball, so it's difficult to turn to the last one, the 0-1. The changeup misses inside. Nearly hit Hrustic. It'll be a 1-1 count. Hrustic, a soon-to-be sophomore at Northwestern, takes the 1-1 for a strike right down the heart of the zone. Good-looking fastballs from Vomhoff, who can play middle of the infield for the Strews. He's also appeared at third base as well. Vomhoff pitching from the stretch, the 1-2. Ball was popped up behind the press box and out of play.
That'll be out of the baseball stadium, Adam. Unfortunately for the fans in attendance, specifically the young ones. There's a few of them.
Maybe one fan in the parking lot will end up getting after the ball game. You never know. The 1-2 from Vomhoff. And straight 3 called in the lower outside corner. Nice frame from Robinson picking up his teammate. And that's the 4th strikeout from Rivets pitching. Check that, 3rd strikeout from Rivets pitching. We have 2 away.
Adam, Rivets pitchers have looked sharp tonight. I bet JT Scara is wondering, well, where has this been all season long? Because Rivets pitching has been really the Achilles heel for this squad.
First pitch, and that is hit high in the air and foul territory. And that one will go into the Rivets bullpen and out of play. So 0-1 count to Noah Granite, the second baseman from Princeton. And something about just pitching at Green Bay's stadium, Capital Credit Union Park. Not too many runs allowed. In fact, just 11 in a 3-game span so far. This will be the 4th, so we'll see how it will end up, of course. But besides Green Bay, they have struggled with walks, that poor fielding, not throwing strikes, but they just look like a completely different pitching rotation. Here comes the pitch, and it's down for a strike. The throw to second, not in time, as Trent Bauer has himself a stolen base. So a runner in scoring position here with 2 outs, and a scoreless ball game between the Booyah and the Rivets.
That could be big, Adam, especially in a low-scoring game. Sometimes all you need is one. If your pitcher is dealing, Jacob Pink has been good for the Booyah, and they can't afford to waste a runner.
Comes the 0-2 from Vomhoff, and a big swing and a miss from Noah Grant. As Vomhoff went up the ladder, picked up his 2nd consecutive strikeout to end the frame. Still scoreless through 4 innings here in Aswabawan, Wisconsin. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. We are back here at Capital Credit Union Park as we are here through 4 innings of work. Still a scoreless ball game between Green Bay and Rockford. It will be 5-7 for the Screws as Jacob Pink is ready to go for his 5th inning of work. The first pitch to Brian Sturdivant. Low and outside for a ball. Sturdivant making the appearance at shortstop today. He's also made some appearances in right field, but he is a utility player by trade. As yet another ball has found the infield. Wow, that's the 3rd time today. These Rivets bullpen pitchers need to have a little better control out there.
Who's catching? I'm trying to look. It looks like Christian Garcia. Christian has no gear on other than a mask. I guess somebody's got to hook him up with some gear so he can start blocking balls, but it's like the 5th time that's happened at him.
Here comes the 1-0 to Sturdivant. Fastball just misses outside. Perhaps a little low, too. Always get a little of a stern look from a manager when that happens. 2-0 now. Fastball misses low and inside. Rivets looking for their 3rd base runner of the night. Just 2 singles through 4+. No walks allowed so far from Pink, but that could change. Long hold to 3-0. And fastball misses low and outside. So it is the first walk for the Screws. They have themselves their first leadoff runner of the night. And that could be big, especially in a close ball game.
Certainly could be, Adam. Sometimes any little thing could provide some momentum for a ball club. And in a pitcher's duel like this, where Pink has not surrendered many base runners at all, you just got to play, get them on, get them over, get them in. Sturdivant is on. Maybe Hamilton lays down a bunt here, and they can leave it up to Troy Tucci or Austin Robinson to get them in.
1 on, nobody out here in the top of the 5th, a 0-0 ball game. The first pitch to Hamilton. Curveball dunks in there in the outside corner for a strike. Hamilton playing in his last baseball game, made a Instagram post about it earlier. Happy that he got the opportunity to play with the Rivets so late in the year. Long hold from Pink. Here comes the 0-1. Ball is popped up, heading towards the 3rd base side. And what a play from Nick Santoro. That one was destined for the first row seats just in front of the dugout. And Santoro made an over-the-shoulder grab, holding on to the barrier by the 3rd base side and hauled in out number 1.
Oh, my goodness. It's like Anthony Rizzo navigating the tarp on the first base side at Cubs games. He reached way over the barrier, into the seats almost, or into the dugout area. I don't know how he didn't fall forward.
Troy Tucci is the batter. First pitch from Pink, runner on the move, but with that foul ball, Sturdivant will have to go back to first. Tucci has struck out a good deal as of late, does have 10 strikeouts in 12 games played, but when he is at his best, he's a very good contact hitter as that throw comes over to first, Sturdivant back in there safely. Even though it's not clicked offensively yet, great defender and great base runner too. Here comes the 0-1, and time is called from Tucci. It's another occurring theme we've seen tonight, a little bit of late calls from Rivets hitters, trying to perhaps fool off the timing of Pink. Both now ready to go. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball finds the lower part of the zone right over the heart of the plate and just by the knees of Tucci. Trying to protect here with 1 out and 1 on here in the top of the 5th. Scoreless ball game between Green Bay and Rockford. Pink lifts and fires the 0-2. That ground ball is too short and bobbled by Clefman. Have to eat it up. We'll see how that one is scored, but Tucci reaches at first base. Tough play in the hole for Clefman. Would have been hard to get Tucci out. and it will be scored an error. But nonetheless, 2 runners on now for the Screws. Their offense just has 2 runs in the past 2 ball games, so they are looking for a big hit from Austin Robinson.
Austin looking for his first RBI as a Rivet, only has 1 hit. This would be a big time for his first Ribby.
He swung the bat better as of late his last game. He picked up his first hit in 3 at-bats. First pitch from Pink, and the fastball misses upstairs. Robinson, who's a notorious, well-known framer for the team, starting to come around with his bat and hoping that he can come through for the first run of the ball game. On hold from Pink, the 1-0. Fastball upstairs, throw back to first, not in time, as Tucci is back in there safely. Nice snap throw from Eberle behind the dish.
Yeah, Adam, it was a good throw, but Tucci wasn't that far off the bag. I was surprised to see him throw it, and Tucci was on the bag by the time that throw arrived to Cameron Tilley.
Eberle just trying to show off the arm and keep the runners close. 2-0 to Robinson. Fastball misses high and inside. Pink, who's been so good through the first 4 innings of the ballgame, has lost his command a little bit here in the top of the 5th.
Still no action in the Green Bay bullpen, though, so I think this is his jam to get out of.
Now, likelihood it is. Another really long hold. Here comes the 3-0. Fastball gets the inner third for a strike.
That's where you got to locate a fastball on 3-0 because as we've seen throughout baseball, some hitters will not take 3-0 anymore if they think a fastball is going to be coming right down the middle. So you got to locate that pitch.
Definitely good to work it off the corners when behind the count. Here comes the 3-1. And that fastball finds the heart of the plate. So Pink, after falling behind 3-0, has now worked the count full. Could be a big batter for him, one of the most pivotal at-bats in the ball game so far. Here through 4+ innings at Capital Credit Union Park in Green Bay. Just outside of Green Bay, I should say. Here comes the payoff pitch, and fastball is upstairs. So Robinson works himself a well-deserved walk, his 3rd of the season. Now the bases are juiced. With just 1 out here in the top of the 5th. No runs scored between Green Bay and Rockford.
That's what you need to do to manufacture the offense. You put balls in play, and you are patient in at-bats. If you do those 2 things, good things will happen. Robinson got ahead 3-0, but didn't offer it any sloppy pitches, and eventually Pink finally missed with that 4th ball. And now it's the 9th batter, Dembeck, and if he can get out, it brings up the top of the order, and the Rivets could really have something going.
Dembeck looking for his first couple RBIs of the season. Just 1 for 11 so far. The first pitch, big swing and a miss. Fastball had some tailing action, and Dembeck cannot get a hold of it.
Adam, his first hit came in the first game. He hit a ball right through the right side here at CCU Park. If he could do the same thing here, it could be 2 runs.
Here comes the 0-1 from Pink. Ball lifted into right field, so he does go the other way. That one's toward the track. Making the catch is Bauer. He throws into the cutoff man, and it's a sacrifice fly for Dembeck. Coming around to score is Sturdivant. Moving over to 3rd is Tucci, as Robinson holds into 1st. So the Rivets are now up 1-0 over Green Bay.
Get him on, get him over, get him in. Put the ball in play, good things will happen, just as we were talking about. Dembeck didn't even need a hit there. He drove it deep enough in right field where the throw didn't even come to the plate. As a right-handed batter, you got to go the opposite way when there are runners in scoring position, as that made for a really long throw. Now the Rivets lead.
Booyah not out of it. Have to face Dvorak. And he takes a fastball outside. Dembeck, of course, the last hitter, picked up his first RBI of the season. Dvorak, he's come through in the leadoff role with some RBIs as well. Has 4 on the season. And some big moments, too. Comes to 1-0 to Dvorak. Puts that one over the shortstop's grab into left field. So that will be an RBI single for Jackson Dvorak. Coming around to score is Troy Tucci. Now the Rivets are up 2-0 over Green Bay.
Jackson Dvorak comes through yet again. Adam in the top spot. He hasn't had many RBI opportunities, but he comes through in the clutch there. Boy, did the Rivets need that, as their patience finally pays off. And Tucci scores after he came on as an error. So the Rivets doing a nice job manufacturing the runs, really grinding it out here in this inning.
Here's the first pitch to Colton Klein. Takes a fastball at belt level for a strike. Dvorak is almost like a DJ LeMahieu model. Hits the ball hard anywhere on the field. Draws his walks, gets on base, and is a really good fielder. Here comes the 0-1 to Klein. Fastball misses outside in the right-handed hitter's batter's box. Right and left matchup. Klein has one of 3 hits on the day for the Screws. Looking to make it a 4th, extend this inning, perhaps driving a run as well. 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 ball game. That ball is roped into center field for a base hit. And throw goes into third. It's not in time, so sliding in safely to third base is Dvorak. And coming around to score is Austin Robinson. So if that base hit from Colton Klein is 3rd RBI of the season, now the Screws are up 3-0.
2-hit ball game for Klein. You can tell he's seeing the ball well. Now the Rivets have finally cracked Jacob Pink and have finally put up a big inning, something that has been rare from this squad. And now, Adam, that might be all for Pink tonight.
Tom Carty did make the signal as he makes a slow walk out towards the mound, getting his infield to talk about it.
I don't think he's made the signal to the bullpen yet, Adam. He was probably signaling to the infield to gather around the mound. Of course, not a very close huddle due to COVID restrictions and precautions, whatever you want to call them. Infield standing a few feet apart around the mound. But I wouldn't be shocked if Pink doesn't retire Vondruska here, that this would be his last batter. Of course, there's 2 outs, but if you're the Booyah, you don't want to surrender any more runs because their lineup has not been able to adjust to the Rockford relievers well. They've had 3 different pitchers in 4 innings tonight. They've been hurling up zeros, lots of weak contact. It might be the most well-pitched ball game that we've seen from the Rivets so far this season. Of course, we don't want to jinx them, but they're looking good early. Now with the offense finally jumping out in front, this game could be over for the Booyah if they're not careful.
Rivets would love to finish the season on a high note. Did not make the playoffs this year, but still like to finish it strong. So it's like almost every player is contributing today. Here comes the first pitch to Vondruska in the dirt for a ball. 1-0. And talk about productive hitting. The sacrifice fly from Dembeck, the hard hit ball from Dvorak into left field, never hard hit ball from Klein. And that's how the 3 runs have come about. On hold from Pink. Here comes the 1-0 to Vondruska. Misses low in the dirt. And advancing to second is Klein. That's a great jump right there. Ball was getting away from Eberle. Klein had a bit of a late start, but took off as soon as he knew that ball got by Eberle. And now runners are on second and third with 2 men out as the Rivets are up 3-0 over Green Bay. Vondruska on the day, 1 for 2. Has himself a single and a strikeout swinging. And the count 2-0. Here comes the pitch from Pink. And fastball nearly clips him. Almost did a ballerina spin to try to avoid that one.
Almost looked like it glanced his jersey. His uniform certainly did move, but I think Vondruska wants to swing the bat here. We'll see if he gets the 3-0 green light.
Could be Rivets have been struggling for offense the past few games, but that's changing tonight. Here comes the 3-0 as Vondruska takes all the way for strike 1.
Probably a good take there, Adam. Pink has really struggled to find the zone this inning after looking really good through 4. So I'm not surprised to see Vondruska take, but I think he's definitely got the green light here.
He's ahead in the count, 3-1. Runners on second and third. Here comes the pitch. And a tapper to short, fielded by Clefman. Fires to first in time, and that will retire the threat as the Rivets strand 2. Not before they score 3 runs for the first time in 3 days. And as they are ahead of the Booyah through 4.5, we'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. Through 4.5 innings, the Rivets finally broke a scoreless tie with 3 runs in the top of the 5th. Taking one of their few leads since the restart as they look to win their second game out of a 14-game stretch. Try to win on a high note, but a new pitcher for the Screws in Jordan Rodriguez.
J-Rod, the redshirt junior from Purdue Northwest, has pitched in 4 games, 3 2/3 innings pitched.
Left-on-left matchup to Ty Onik. First pitch is bunted right back to Rodriguez. Wheels and deals, fires to first. It's a low throw, and Onik has himself a bunt single for the first batter of the inning.
Well, that's how you start an offense. Olnick dropping that thing down pretty much right down the line. It was a long run for Rodriguez to come off the mound and grab it. Dembeck wasn't in enough at third to cut that one off. Rodriguez had the better play, and his throw just was not hard enough.
Always difficult for a lefty to go around to the third base side and field his position. The first pitch to Santoro misses inside. Santoro, the UW Whitewater product, is a soon-to-be redshirt senior. Ground out to shortstop in his first at-bat. Here comes the 1-0. And ball smoked into center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Stopping at second is Onik, as the Booyah have back-to-back base hits. They're looking to come back in this ball game after giving up 3 runs to the Rivets in the top half of the 5th.
Well, Adam, that seems to have been the trend this year. The Rivets offense gets something going, and then the pitching messes it up, for lack of better wording. Rodriguez is just leaving too many pitches down the heart of the plate. He gave Olnick a good pitch to bunt. Santoro jumped on a fastball right down the middle. Rodriguez doesn't have a ton of velo, so he's got to locate very well. He has done it pretty good in some stretches. Hopefully he can find his location better tonight.
Needs to work off the corners. First pitch misses upstairs as Colin Clefman was thinking about bunting, but pulled him back just in the nick of time. Here at Capital Credit Union Park, the Rivets have a 3-0 lead over the Green Bay Booyah. Runners are on first and second with no one out here in the bottom of the 5th. Clefman on the day 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Here comes the 1-0 from Rodriguez. And the fastball is in there, belt high. Rodriguez is a cameraman turned broadcaster, turned back to cameraman, and now a pitcher for the Screws. And he's part of one of the higher divisions on the team, a D2 athlete. Many of these Rivets players are D3 athletes or play in JUCO. He has pitched pretty well for the Screws thus far, but in his last 2 outings had lost control of the command, but it looks better tonight so far. Here comes the 1-1 from J-Rod. Bunt is shown. It's a good one down the first base line. They're letting it roll foul. And it will be a foul ball, says home plate umpire Mike Carr. Good job by the defense, especially Robinson and Carestas, to let that one roll foul. Would have been a tough play for them.
Adam, you knew the bunt was coming because Clefman stepped out of the box and had a discussion with the third base coach. And anytime that happens, you know something's on. And they did have the play on. Clefman dropped down a nearly perfect bunt. That ball rolled just over the first base line, foul. Like you said, good job by Robinson, Carestas, and Rodriguez to just let that one roll. If it stayed fair, it was an easy base hit.
Rodriguez now looking to pick up his first strikeout of the night. All likelihood, Clefman won't be bunting this time around. Here comes the 1-2. Does not, and that ball is in the dirt. Rodriguez would love to get the strikeout here. That'd be a big out for him. Double play ball would also be nice too, as it is a pitcher's best friend. Rodriguez comes set. Let's bat towards second a couple of times. Here comes the 2-2. And that ball is a slow dribbler to short. They get one, and that's all they will get on the 6-4 force out. So moving over to third is Olnick as Clefman reaches on the fielder's choice. And the bat dog, surprising Austin Robinson getting the bat and right in front of him, did not see it coming. So he says, "That's on me." And all ready to go now. Runners on the corners of 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th at Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin.
It's always important to get the lead runner on a play like that, Adam. Of course, Olnick the lead runner, but Rockford keeping another runner out of scoring position on that play there. It's going to be a tough turn. Another slow roller to shortstop.
Rodriguez did get one, though, which is always helpful. The first pitch to Tilly. That ball was smoked into left field. Giving chase is Klein. And he makes the unbelievable play just in front of the wall. He was running full speed towards the crack and make an overhead grab. That would have been extra bases for sure. Perhaps even 2 runs, but the speedy left fielder hauled it in for out number 2. And coming around to score on that play is Ty Olnick on the well-deserved sacrifice fly from Cameron Tilley. So it's now a 3-1 Rivets lead over Green Bay with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
My goodness, Colton Klein turned on the afterburners there. We all know he had that speed. It's hard to make a running catch like that, especially going towards the wall.
First pitch is off to the third base side. And making the catch, just missing the catch, is Dembeck. Had it in his glove, it fell out, and now he's hurt. Crashed in with a barrier. And immediately the trainer comes in and looks at him.
Oh, boy.
He's starting to get up on his own accord, but that is scary.
Yeah, he was running right into the net there, right in front of the Booyah dugout, and around the backstop there's a cement barrier, and the only place there's padding is right behind home plate, and there you see why that's a problem. You got to have more padding around the diamond there, and Dembeck just started to fall forward trying to give chase with that one. Those infield pop flies are often spinning up in the air. They're going every which way, and a lot of times you will see players fall, and Dembeck just, I don't know if he hit his face or his lip on the lip of the cement there, but looks like he's headed with the trainer into the Green Bay dugout. I don't know if he'll stay in the ball game, but it looks okay. And hopefully he didn't cut anything open, but that might be the case.
He was running full speed into the barrier, and as you mentioned, those infield pop flies have a lot of twists and turns, so it's hard to pay attention to the ball and also to the cement barrier as well. He's still standing around talking with the trainer. Has a chance to come back and remain in this ball game. He's a very tough kid. He's actually will be turning 19 years old tomorrow too, so it'll be a happy early birthday to Dembeck, and he actually has
on a sour occasion.
Yeah, he actually has a ball game tomorrow as well on his birthday. He plays in a men's league, and I would like to stay for that one, as that is nearing the championship game.
How about that? Playing ball games on back-to-back days. No better way to spend your birthday than playing baseball. And it looks like Simon will stay in the ball game. That's good. And like you said, Adam, he's a tough guy. He's built like a lumberjack at third base. My goodness, the dude is jacked, for lack of better wording. But sometimes you can't build up the muscle on your face enough.
Always hard when you're flying face first into a cement wall. I don't know if anyone's face is that tough. Maybe I'll have to ask Sylvester Stallone about that one. But it is nice to see Dembeck back in the ball game at third base, and hopefully he'll play the rest of this one and be okay for his men's league tomorrow on his birthday. So everything lets to resume shortly here in the bottom of the fifth. Rivets now 3-1 against Green Bay thanks to a sacrifice fly from Tilley. 2 outs, runner on first base to Lewis, and he swings and misses at the first pitch. Actually, second pitch. Been a little bit of a break, and now Lewis is behind 0-2. Lewis, the Princeton sophomore, is 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout, swing, and a line out to first base. Rodriguez looking for the strikeout. Here comes the 0-2. Tapper right back to him. He goes halfway towards the bag and underhands it for the third out. So Green Bay does pick up one on the sacrifice fly. A little bit of an injury scare of Simon Dembeck, but he's all right. He's still in the ball game. That's now a 3-1 ball game through 5 innings. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. We are back here at Capital Credit Union Park. Through 5 innings of baseball, the Rivets have a 3-1 lead over Green Bay. They're hoping to end their season with a win and on a high note. The new pitcher is Zach Camp, the right-handed sophomore from Swarthmore College. Hails all the way from Georgia. First batter is Justin Carestis. Camp pitching from the windup. And here comes the first pitch. And Carestis goes fishing for that one. That one was on the turf and made a big hack on the first pitch. Now down 0-1. Just for the viewers' clarification, I'll be doing a solo inning for the 6th, and Larry will be doing a solo inning for the 7th. Here comes the 0-1 from Camp. Another low swing and a miss from Carestis. That ball is at his feet, and he's still trying to dig it out, but has been unable to the first 2 times around. Camp all set and ready to go. Lifts and fires for the 0-2. And a big swing and a miss as a changeup gets Carestis fishing. He is the beer batter of the night, so a lot of fans are very happy with the strikeout, which is the 4th from Booyah pitching. 1 away here in the top of the 6th. Rivets up 3-1 over Green Bay. It's been a nice turn of events this ballgame for the Strews as the offense came through in the 5th with 3 runs. The pitching has been dominant today through 3 different pitchers. First pitch to Sturdivant, and is lofted into the night sky in center field. Right underneath it is Tyona to make the catch for out number 2. So 2 easy and quick outs for the relievers at Camp, relieving Jacob Pink, the starter. Went 5 innings, giving up 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. In line for the loss so far. Kyle Hamden steps up to the dish with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th at CCU Park. He's 0 for 2 in the night. Here comes the first pitch from Camp. The fastball misses low and inside. Hamilton is now the alum of UW Stout. He is batting .053 in this ball game and hoping to raise that average in his final baseball game of his career. Here comes the 1-0. Big swing and a miss. Helmet nearly came off his head. That pitch located on the lower outside part of the zone. He's been struggling a little bit as of late, but has good command of the strike zone. Looking for the base knock. Here comes the 1-1 from Camp. That ball lofted through the hole into right center field. So Hamilton comes through in his final game. How do you like that? He almost should be asking for the baseball right now. Have himself a nice souvenir. Here's a guy who finished up his career at UW Stout. And he gets his base hit for the first since August 9th. Must be pretty happy about that one. So runner on first base with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. So Rivets are up 3-1. Troy Tucci, the batter at the plate, 0 for 2 in the night, but does have a run scored as he reached an error back in the 5th inning. First pitch, fastball misses low, just below the knees. Tucci is a Rockford University product, as our many players are on this team. Just a few that comes to mind is Chris Hotz and Christian Garcia, as well as Phil Highland. Comes the 1-0 to Tucci. Fastball misses inside. He turned his bat shoulder as you're taught from a young age, as that ball nearly hit him. So instead it'll be a 1-1 count. Tucci looking for some 2-out life as the Rivets use some insurance runs. Camp comes set, lifts and fires. And a tapper to third base. Going to be a tough play for Santoro, and he cannot make the play. As drills off his glove and goes to the shortstop, Clefman. We will see how that one is ruled, but in all likelihood, that one should be an error. Tucci does have good speed on the base paths, though. And it was a running play, and it will be scored an error, the 2nd of the night for the Green Bay Booyah. So runners are on first and second. Hamilton off second, Tucci off first. Here in the top of the 6th inning, Rivets up 3-1 over Green Bay. Austin Robinson will be making his way to the dish shortly. And the Rivets finally snapped a 13-game error streak, which saw them commit 31 errors over that time. They had a clean ball game yesterday, and so far a clean ball game tonight. Robinson, the right-handed hitter out of Milwaukee Area Tech. Comes the first pitch from camp. Fastball misses outside as Rustic was looking towards first base, but no one was covering. And Tucci was just a hair off first base. Second time that's happened. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. Perhaps just trying to let threatening behind the plate. Always nice when the catcher can show off his arm. Eberly has a good one. Here comes the 1-0. And fastball just misses inside. Good take from Robinson. The Rivets have had their fair share of good two-way catchers. Liebert, Manthe, and Hampy. First time around now, Garcia, Robinson, and Kleekamp on the restart team. All of them great two-way players and great command at the strike zone and good defensive mainstays behind the plate. Camp comes back with a 2-0, and the fastball clips the outside corner. Robinson on the season is 1 for 12, but does have 3 walks, including one into tonight's ball game. Runners on first and second. He's hoping for his first RBI of the season. Here comes a 2-1, and a late swing and a miss. Zach Camp looking for the 5th strikeout of the night for the Booyah, as Robinson perhaps asking home plate umpire Mike Carr where that ball was located. An often trend that you will see from hitters, just so they know about where it was in the strike zone, better command of the plate. Here comes a 2-2 from Camp. And that ball is just fouled off from Robinson. Great defensive swing. You don't find the pitcher and you're down the count like that. Just need to find back to ball, foul it off, and that's exactly what Robinson did there. One player that was notorious for doing that was Wade Botts, who would actually foul off pitches continually until he would get his pitch to hit. That's one of the reasons why he was a .328 hitter, and a Hall of Famer too for that matter. Long looking from Camp, looking for the signs. Now he receives it, comes set. There's on first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the pitch, and a little tapper to short. They will go the short way, and just in the nick of time, as Clefman goes to Grant for the 6-4 force, and the Rivets strand 2 here in the top of the 6. Through 5.5, Rivets are up 3-1. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. We are back here through 5.5. Rivets are up 3-1 over the Green Bay Booyah, and a little bit of an oddity here at CCU Park. Robinson, before Chris Haas, new pitchers, made a pitch, went out towards the mound to Toclifin, and the home plate umpire, Mike Carr, called that one a mound visit. There are a limited number of mound visits, so that's very strange and perhaps a bit disconcerting to the Screws, but Haas, the Rockford University product, will be making his first inning of work. The first pitch to Eberle is fouled off behind the backstop, 0-1. Eberle, the Columbia freshman, is 1 for 2 in the night. Is ground to third and started off the fourth with a leadoff single. More on Haas. He has pitched 6 innings this season as a 10.5 ERA. Here comes the 0-1. And the off-speed pitch does not break, misses upstairs in the zone. Haas is one of the oldest player, if not the oldest on the team. Just turned 25 years old. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball misses low and outside. He often gives sage advice to the younger players, especially last night, telling about his experience through college ball. He has met a variety of minor league players. Very proud of that, of knowing them. Here comes a 2-1. Fastball clips the inside corner for a strike. Haas only stands at 5'9", but has great command of the strike zone. Here comes a 2-2. And foul tipped into the glove of Austin Robinson. So that is the 5th strikeout from Rivets pitching tonight, and the first from Haas. As there are now 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th in Capital Credit Union Park. Rivets still 3-1 over Green Bay. So Haas with that strikeout, racking up his 3rd of the year. More of a contact pitcher. Something the Rivets have done well tonight, limiting hard contact. Comes the first pitch to the lefty, Trent Bauer. Fastball misses into turf. Once again, it's artificial turf completely on the field, even by the mound and the hitter's circle. So it'll be a 1-0 count to Bauer. Bauer is 1 for 2 in the night, has a single and hit into a fielder's choice, but also has 2 stolen bases. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball this time misses up high in the zone and gets by Robinson. So back-to-back pitches reaching the backstop. Robinson is usually good at finding his command, just needs to reset. Haas just needs to take a deep breath and get right back to it. Definitely what he does. Here comes 2-0. Ball smoked over the head of Caresses and into right field. That'll be a base knock for Trent Bauer, his 2nd of the night, as he has himself a 1-out single. Green Bay does trail 3-1 through 5.5. 1 out, runner on first base, and they do bring up the tying runner at the plate, and Steven Hrustich. Hrustich does have 3 home runs in the season. Could especially be eyeing the 282 Blue Monster out in right field. Has power to all fields. The first pitch, a tap or 2 shortstop. This could be 2. There's 1, and on to first in time for a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. So Green Bay strands none and do not score, as we are here through 6 innings of play. Rivets up 3-1 over Green Bay. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network.
Welcome back to Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, where the Rockford Rivets are on top of the Green Bay Booyah by a score of 3-1. Headed to the top half of the 7th. Final game of 2020 for the Rockford Rivets. They're looking to win just their second game in their last 14. New pitcher, Will Monroe, the left-hander, out to face 9-1-2 in the Rockford order, starting with Simon Dembeck. He winds and fires the first pitch. Dembeck takes high, and it's ball 1. Monroe comes out of UW La Crosse as a sophomore from Appleton, just down the road from Green Bay. 1-0 is popped up right to our right, and that lands just at the staircase to our right, and a mad dash ensues on the concourse. And it looks like a older gentleman will grab that one. An eventful first strike, and it's 1-1. For a second, I thought that was going to head right towards us. 1-1. Misses upstairs to Dembeck, and it's 2-1. Simon tonight has a ground out and a sacrifice fly back in the 5th inning. Rivets scored all 3 of their runs in the top half of the 5th frame. 2-1 is hammered the opposite way. Deep right field, hooking towards the line. That one will go foul. That one was fading fast. Trent Bauer, the right fielder, gave chase. And anytime you see a fly ball down the right field line, it's exciting here at Capital Credit Union Park. 282 down the right field line, 338 down the left field line, and 386 to dead center. It's a very unique ballpark. It's almost built like a rectangle, a flat wall from the right field foul pole all the way to center field. Here's another 2-2. Fouled straight back. And we'll do it again. Warming up in the Rivets bullpen are 2 pitchers. Nick Volmert is one of them. And JT Scarra before the game told us we might see 3 pitchers in the bottom half of the 7th inning as he's trying to get as many arms in as possible in this final game of 2020. Will Monroe works from the windup, kicks and delivers another 2-2. Slow breaking ball misses outside to Dembeck. Still wearing just 1 batting glove. We commented on that earlier. It's not often you see somebody just wearing 1. Usually all or nothing. Open batting stance for Dembeck, and he waits the payoff pitch, fouled straight back, and we'll do it over. Dembeck took a hard fall off the cement barrier away from the third base line and a foul pop-up a few innings ago, but he's a tough kid. Staying in this one. Who could blame him? Wants to get his reps in. Here's another 3-2. Misses upstairs, and it's a leadoff walk for Simon. That's the second time that the Rivets have drawn a leadoff walk. The other one came back in the 5th, and we all know that was good for the Rivets. 3-1 ball game in favor of Rockford over Green Bay. Top half of the 7th. There's a runner on first for the top of the order in Jackson Dvorak. Dvorak had an RBI single back in the 5th. His 5th RBI of the year, and he has been on a tear lately. He's got a 5-game hit streak now. First pitch. Changeup misses high from Monroe, and it's 1-0. Over the course of this hit streak for Dvorak up until today, all of the games of the hit streak have been 2-hit games. His fastball's drilled the opposite way, but right at the right fielder, Trent Bauer, who doesn't move a muscle and makes the catch chest high. And there's 1 down in the top half of the 7th. Rockford 3, Green Bay 1. Now there's 1 down for Colton Klein, the number 2 batter. As the game has gone on, the Rivets have made more and more contact. Last night they struggled in a 4-0 loss that eliminated them from postseason contention. One of the main culprits of that loss, 16 strikeouts. His first pitch to Colton Klein. Takes a fastball high and in. The left-handed batter ducks out of the way. 1-0. Colton has 2 base knocks tonight, including one of the RBI variety in the 5th. The junior from Carthage College, a 2-sport athlete there. 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses up and away. Popping out of his squat was Weston Eberle behind the plate to try and throw down to first, but he glanced home plate umpire Mike Carr with his elbow, so he could not make the throw, and it's 2-0. Monroe sets at the letters, kicks and fires the 2-1. That time he finds the zone right down the middle with a fastball below the letters. To Klein, who stands at 6'4". Klein, the starting quarterback for the Carthage College football team. But the football season, due to COVID-19, has been moved to the spring this year. So Klein was forced to decide between football and baseball as he slaps that one into left field, but Nadir Lewis tracks it down, makes a few steps to his left to retire the Rockford left fielder. Now there's 2 down. Rockford still leads by a score of 3-1, top half of the 7th. Back to Klein. He was forced to choose between baseball and football. He chose baseball. He'll be playing ball in the spring for Augie Schmidt, the 34-year head coach at Carthage. So here's Bradley Vondruska. Comes up with the runner on first base and 2 down. First pitch from Monroe. A check swing foul ball back to the screen. And it's 0-1. Bradley singled in the 4th inning. The sophomore from Milwaukee Area Technical College. Plays for Zach Charbonneau, head coach for the Stormers and also the manager for the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. The set and the 0-1. Fastball misses upstairs. Snap throw down to first, not in time. Diving back was Dembeck by a wide margin. Cameron Tilley, the first baseman, couldn't get the tag down in time. But speaking of Zach Charbonneau's Fond du Lac Dock Spiders, they'll take on the Green Bay Booyah tomorrow for the first round of the playoffs. The Wisconsin-Illinois pod. The winner moves on to Saturday's championship. Monroe sets above the belt and delivers the 0-2. A soft foul ball down the first base line, and it's picked up by Justin Carestis. Flipped back to Weston Eberle behind the plate. We'll have another 0-2. Simon Dembeck on first base, has 1 stolen base. Likely won't see him go on an 0-2 count with 2 outs in the top half of the 7th. Rockford leading by 2. Looking to snap a losing skid. 0-2. Fouled off again by Vondruska. He's putting up a battle here. Rivets have been very bad on the road lately. They've lost 7 straight away from Rivets Stadium. The overall road record of 10-14. This new Rivets team has yet to win on the road. Their lone win coming over Fond du Lac at home. Came back on Sunday. Monroe comes set, takes a breath, delivers another 0-2 to Vondruska. Curveball in the dirt, laid off. Eberle put the chest protector on it to keep Dembeck at first base. Count now 1-2. Beautiful night for baseball in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. Temperature hovering around 68 degrees. We had some spitting showers earlier in the night before the game got underway, but it gave way for a beautiful rainbow that showed over the right field wall. Perfect night for the final game of the 2020 season. 1-2 pitch, misses low again. It's back even now at 2-2 to number 2 in gray. Good crowd on hand for Fan Appreciation Night at CCU Park. They all await the 2-2 pitch. Fastball lined into left field, but right at Nadir Lewis, who makes the catch over his head to end the Rockford top half of the 7th. The Screws strand Simon Dembeck on first base after a leadoff walk, and the score remains Rivets 3, Green Bay 1 after 6.5. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Radio. Rivets up by a score of 3-1 over the Green Bay Booyah in the final game of the 2020 season. Headed to the bottom half of the 7th, and JT Scarrow makes the call to the bullpen again. Hands the ball to Nick Volmert, the 6'6" right-hander from McHenry County College. His last time out, he had a great outing in 2 1/3 innings of work against La Crosse. Here's the first pitch to Noah Granite. Fastball down the middle for a called strike. Talking to JT Scarrow, Rivets manager, earlier, he said that we will likely see 3 pitchers here in the bottom half of the 7th. Volmert is the first, working from the windup, delivers the 0-1. Fastball fouled off, and it's quickly 0-2 on Granite, who has a swinging strikeout. Came back in the 4th, also a hit by pitch in the 2nd. Rivets pitching tonight has been outstanding. Jordan Rodriguez surrendering the only run that came back in the bottom half of the 5th. 0-2. Slow breaking ball laid off by Granite, and it's 1-2 now. Rockford Arms going in order, starting with Tyler Venditti, went 2 innings. All the rest went just 1. Barrett Bell, Sam Vomhoff. It's the 1-2. Is slowly rolled to third base, charging his Dembeck. Fields with his glove, throws on to first, in time to get out hustling Noah Granite. Nice play by the Rockford third baseman. And there's 1 down in the bottom half of the 7th. It's Rockford 3, Green Bay 1. Going back to the Rockford pitching, Barrett Bell, 1 scoreless inning. Sam Vomhoff, 1 scoreless inning. Jordan Rodriguez allowed that 1 earned run, followed by Chris Hawks, who pitched another scoreless inning. And that 1 out will indeed be all for Nick Volmert. He will be pulled from this ball game, and coming on to pitch for the Rivets is number 33, Ryan Green, the sophomore Green Bay native, pitching in his hometown, the sophomore from Concordia University, Wisconsin. We'll take a brief timeout. Don't go anywhere. Rivets up by 2 by a score of 3-1 here in the bottom half of the 7th in the final game of 2020. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. One out, bottom half of the 7th at Capital Credit Union Park. Rivets up by a score of 3-1, and Ryan Green is the second pitcher of this bottom half of the 7th inning after Nick Volmert got 1 out. JT Scarrow hands the ball to Green. Working from the windup, kicks and fires the first pitch to Ty Olnick, swung on and missed for strike 1. I anticipate that Green will only be in for 1 out, as 2 pitchers are warming in the Rockford bullpen. Green back to the windup and delivers the 0-1. Curveball misses outside, and it's 1-1. Olnick, the redshirt freshman from UW Milwaukee, singled and scored in the 5th, the only Green Bay run in this one. Also flew out to left in the 2nd. Green quickly working and blows the 1-1 by Olnick on a swinging strike. Fastball down the middle, and it's 1-2. Rivets pitching has been outstanding tonight. 1-2 pitch. Fastball just misses a bit outside. Olnick thought about going around, but held back. And it's 2-2. Rockford pitching has been an Achilles heel for the Rivets all season long. Green drops down sidearm and misses outside, and it's full. I say all season long, but just the last 14 games with a new roster after the original 33 players departed all at once. But Rockford has allowed 11.5 runs versus every team except Green Bay. As the 3-2 is hammered into center, it sends Tucci back a few steps, and he makes the catch over his head. He had to catch up to that one. He made a mistake of taking the first step in, but he recovered well. He's got good speed, and now there's 2 down in the bottom half of the 7th. Rockford on top by a score of 3-1. Now JT Scarra will come back out of the Rockford dugout and make the signal to the bullpen once more. Ryan Green gets 1 out and 1 batter faced. And now it looks like it will be Cruz Wagner on for the Rivets out of the bullpen. He has been solid, making a few starts for JT Scarra. We're going to keep it right here during this pitching change. 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th. Thanks for joining us on this final broadcast of the 2020 season. Larry Larson alongside Adam Cohen at Capital Credit Union Park in Ashwaubenon. CCU Park, a brand new ballpark as of last year in Ashwaubenon, which is really just outside Green Bay proper. And if you stand in right field, as I did during batting practice today, you look beyond the third base line, you will see the pride and joy of the entire state of Wisconsin, Lambeau Field, home of the Green Bay Packers. And on the drive up here, you can tell that you're coming into Green Bay Packers territory. See Packers stickers, Packers license plates, businesses named after the Packers. It's really remarkable. There's no state that embraces their team more than Wisconsin does for their Green Bay Packers. Fans of Green Bay have embraced their Booyah pretty good, as they've come out in droves to see the final home game of 2020 for their Booyah. They will play in the playoffs tomorrow as they take on the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. As Cruz Wagner finishes up his warm-up pitches for the Rivets. Bottom half of the 7th with 2 down, nobody on. Rivets up 3-1, looking for their first win, first road win with the new squad. And now Nick Santoro steps in. The first pitch from Wagner, curveball that misses low and away. Santoro, the 9 batter, redshirt junior from UW Whitewater, has a single, came back in the 5th. 1-0. Fastball catches the lower third of the zone, and it's 1-1. How about JT Scarra getting crafty? Volmert for a third, Green for a third, now to Wagner. The 1-1 is laced up the middle into center field for a 2-out single. So the wraparound batter is aboard, and it brings up the leadoff man, Colin Cleffman. As Flash the Bat Dog retrieves the bat. At Santoro left at home plate. That is one of the most unique things that we have seen around the Northwoods League. They even have a graphic for Flash the Bat Dog on the scoreboard out in right center field. They say he goes to UC Berkeley. First pitch to Colin Cleffman. Fastball misses outside, and it's 1-0. Cleffman reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Is otherwise 0 for 2. Swing strikeout in the 3rd. Wagner from the stretch sets above the letters and fires the 1-0. It's laced into left for another single. Colin Klein fields it on a hop in left field, gets it right back in, and it's back-to-back 2-out singles in the Green Bay 7th inning. Booyah chasing 2, down 3-1 to the Rivets. And so now the tying run is on first base for Cameron Tilley, who had an RBI his last time up, a sac fly to left field. He almost got all of it. Colton Klein, the left fielder, had to sprint backwards and make a running catch over his head. It was spectacular, but it left him no chance to throw out Olnick coming home from 3rd. Wagner sets above the letters, fires the first pitch. Curveball buried in the artificial turf, blocked by Robinson behind the plate, and it's 1-0. So it's Santoro on first, Clefman on second. Wagner looks in for the sign with the ball behind his back. Now he's got it, sets with a closed stance, and comes home. It's popped up over the net and out of play. One will land on the canopy above the second deck here at CCU Park. A two-tiered ballpark. There's a lower bowl and an upper level with suites and seating areas. Really is a nice ballpark. For a multi-purpose stadium, it's no Oakland Coliseum. Wagner gazes into Robinson for the sign. He's got it. Long pause and fires the 1-1. Breaking ball again, misses in the turf. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. So things are getting sticky. Bottom half of the 7th for Rockford. 2 on, 2 out. 2-1 count to the 2 batter, Cameron Tilley. Wagner, the freshman, sets and fires. It's drilled into center, sends Tucci back. He's got a beat on it. He makes the catch. And the inning is over. So Cruz Wagner works around back-to-back 2-out singles. And the Booyah strand 2, and the score remains Rivets 3, Booyah 1. Headed to the 8th on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Capital Credit Union Park. Rivets on top of the Green Bay Booyah by a score of 3-1. Headed to the top half of the 8th. Due up for Rockford, Justin Carestis, Matthew Borgman, pinch hitter in the on-deck circle, and Kyle Hamilton. They'll face Nick Kreitzer, a position player. The redshirt senior from Arkansas Pine Bluff stands at 6'4". Pitches from the right side against the right-handed batter, Justin Carestis. The first pitch, fastball down the middle, taken for a strike. So it looks like Kreitzer knows what he's doing out there, Adam.
He does. He has a good arm and potent bat, usually left-handed batter, but throws from the right side.
Winds and deals the 0-1, swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch by Carestis, who's looking to avoid his 3rd strikeout tonight.
Larry, I don't think this is Kreitzer's first rodeo on the mound.
Here's the 0-2. Off-speed pitch called. Strike 3 on the outer half. And Carestis is rung up. Second looking strikeout by the Rockford order tonight, and the crowd loves it. 1 away, top half of the 8th. The Rivets up by 2.
And what's not to love, Larry, as Kreitzer has been with Green Bay since 2019, was with them all season long. He did not have one pitching appearance at all this season, and now gets his first, and he is a beloved player here at Capital Credit Union Park, so they're happy to see their man on the mound dealing so far.
Now a pinch hitter for Brian Sturdivant, Matthew Borgman, the first pitch. Fastball misses high, and Borgman is listed on the roster as a pitcher, has done nothing but pitch up until this point this season. Sophomore from Metro State University of Denver. Waits the 1-0. Almost goes around on a high fastball but lays off, and it's 2-0. How about this size matchup? Borgman standing at 5'7", and Kreitzer towering at 6'4" on the bump.
Baseball truly is a game for everyone.
2-0, fouled straight back. It really is, Adam, and seeing you take hacks in batting practice, I think, proved that. How tall are you?
5'3".
5'3", and I'm standing at 6'1", and you put almost every ball in play. I got to hand it to you, my man.
Appreciate it.
Kreitzer winds and deals the 2-1. Fastball fouled straight back again, and Kreitzer's back even at 2-2.
The Rivets were having fun their last day. They let me and Larry hit. They let Natalie hit, who's a live tweeter for the Rivets, and also let the coaches hit too.
2-2 is on the way. Ground ball to third base. Scooped up by Santoro. He steps and throws in time as Tilley missed his back foot with the bag but then found it. So that's the second out of the top half of the 8th. The Rivets up 3-1 on Green Bay.
Well, to Tilley's credit, he usually does not play at a square base, usually a catcher for the Booyah. So a little bit out of position for him, although it's normal for catchers to go to first base. Just didn't set up correctly, but they do get the out.
So now it's up to Kyle Hamilton in the Rockford 8th. First pitch, fastball down the middle, taken for strike 1. Hamilton, the graduate of UW Stout, joined the Rivets after they called him up on the phone in need of players. Graduate of Hononegah High School, about 15 minutes from Rivet Stadium. 0-1 pitch, hammered into deep right field. Going back is Bauer, and he watches it go off the wall. It's off the very top of the wall. It rolls off. Hamilton chugs into second base, slides in head first with a double. It's a 2-out base knock for the graduate, and the Hononegah Indian has something brewing in the Rockford 8th. How about that shot, Adam? We saw Hamilton hit one out in batting practice. That hit the 19 feet, 19-inch sign down the right field line here at Green Bay. I thought it was out of here.
I thought it was too, and have a night Kyle Hamilton, his last baseball game. Thought that his career was over at UW Scout, got the call for the Rivets, and has been really producing, especially in tonight's ball game. 2 hits for him tonight.
Now there's a runner in scoring position for Troy Tucci, who takes a fastball strike down the middle at the letters, and it's 0-1. Tucci has reached twice, both on errors. He scored in the 5th. Rockford looking for insurance in this final game of the 2020 season. 0-1. Curveball finds the zone. It fooled Tucci. He bent his shoulder at it, watched it down the middle, and it's 0-2. Nick Kreitzer, the position player, looking for his second strikeout here in this 8th inning. Comes set at the belt, looks at Hamilton, and delivers home. Buries the curveball, blocked by Eberle, and it's 1-2.
Larry, I'm less surprised by Kreitzer's speed off the mound. I'm more surprised by the curveball. Has a lot of depth to it, which is a little surprising for a position player.
It is a good pitch. He fires the 1-2. It's golfed into center, falling fast. On comes Olnick, and he makes the catch above his head to end the top half of the 8th. So the Rivets strand Kyle Hamilton on second base after a 2-out double, and the score remains Rockford 3, Green Bay 1. On comes Ross Thompson out of the Rockford bullpen after we come back. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. bottom half of the 8th at CCU Park. Rivets on top of the Green Bay Booyah by a score of 3-1. And they hand the ball to Ross Thompson to try and bring this one home. JT Scarra is going to send him out there for the 2-inning save. Rivets looking to nail down a win in their final game of 2020. We've got some defensive substitutions. Breck Nowick comes into play shortstop for Brian Sturdivant. Troy Tucci, the center fielder, moves to right. Johannes Hawkinson comes in the game to play center. And Jackson Dvorak, the right fielder, moves to first base. Thompson will face 3-4-5 in the Booyah order, starting with Nadir Lewis. First pitch, righty against lefty. Lewis squares the bunt and drops a good one down the third baseline. Dembeck picks it up and throws in time, but Dvorak was off the bag. The throw pulled him off. He disagrees with the call, as evident by the stare to first base umpire Connor McKenzie, but it doesn't matter, and the leadoff man is aboard in the bottom half of the 8th.
Larry, it almost looked like a routine play for Simon Dembeck at third base. He did have to hustle, did have to make the quick throw, but fielded it normally as an infielder with 2 hands. Get the hard sidearm throw to first base, and it looked good, but Dvorak just a little bit off the bag.
Thompson works from the stretch, sets at the belt, and fires the first pitch to Weston Eberle. And it misses outside for ball 1. Eberle has a base hit that came back in the 4th. He's also got a strikeout and a ground out. Ground ball here would be big. Middle infield at double play depth. 1-0 from Thompson. Misses low and away, and it's 2-0. Thompson, Adam, leads this New Rivets squad in ERA at 1.80. So I think he's the man in the late innings.
He is, and he also wraps up the strikeouts too, has 7 in just 5 innings of work.
Needs to come from behind for one here. So he fires the 2-0 to Eberle. It's popped up on the infield. Thompson gets out of the way and gives way to the third baseman, Dembeck, who backpedals and makes the catch. Oh my goodness, that was a scary one. He was falling backwards as Breck Nowick stood right behind him. But he made the catch, and it looks the same in the scorebook, and now there's one away for Trent Bauer. Green Bay trailing Rockford 3-1 in the bottom half of the 8th.
Larry, Dembeck is the type of person who takes initiative. We saw him go after that fly ball or foul ball earlier and pretty much collide his head with a brick wall. And that time around, he was in front of the shortstop. Usually the shortstop calls off the third baseman, but made sure that Noah got out of the way and still held on for the second out.
First pitch to Bauer, fouled off the opposite way. And it is 0-1. Nadir Lewis still on first after that leadoff single. And the tying run is Bauer at the plate. Could have some late drama in this one. Thompson sets and pauses. And now throws the 0-1. Fastball for a called strike on the outer black to the left-handed batter, Bauer. Well, that's a 2-hit day. 2 singles, and he also reached on a fielder's choice.
He also has 2 stolen bases as well, so the Booyah would love to get the Bauer's lights on bases too.
The senior from Western Illinois is speedy. 0-2. Chopper back to Thompson. It's a big chop. He fields and throws in time to first base. Going on the pitch was Lewis, so he's into second safely. But now there's 2 down for Steven Hrustich.
Hrustich, arguably one of the biggest power hitters for the Booyah this season, although he just has 13 RBIs. It would be a great situation for him to get his 4th home run. I wouldn't be too surprised if Lewis, who has 9 stolen bases this season, takes a big lead and gets himself in a good secondary to try to come around on the potential single from Hrustich.
Booyah need 2 to tie in the bottom half of the 8th. 2 down with a runner on second to the freshman from Northwestern. He swings and misses at the first pitch. Adam, he was taking a home run hack there, and it's 0-1.
He was looking towards the 338 left field sign, trying to pull that ball and launch it into orbit.
He's got 13 RBIs. One here would be big with Lewis on second. The 0-1. Ground ball up the middle off the glove of Thompson. Coming in is the shortstop. Nowicki throws on the run and makes the play in time. A nice heads-up play by the high school senior manning the shortstop position. And Ross Thompson works around a leadoff single by Nadir Lewis. Rivets up on Green Bay 3-1. Headed to the ninth on the Rockford Rivets radio network. Headed to the ninth inning at CCU Park in Green Bay. Rivets up on the Booyah 3-1 in the final game of 2020. Rivets will send up a pinch hitter to start the ninth. Sam Beers, first pitch, laced into right field, and that's going to drop down the line for a base hit and get all the way to the wall. Beers will take a big turn and stop at first base with a lead-off single. So Beers gets that single off the new pitcher, Bobby Dorda. Adam, tell us about it.
Bobby Dorda stands 6'6" and weighs 195 pounds. He's a redshirt senior native of Palmyra, Pennsylvania. He's thrown 4 innings this season, 11.25 ERA.
So now Simon Dembeck, the 9-hitter, will bat with a runner on, and he takes a fastball inside, and it's 1-0. 3-1 ball game in favor of Rockford, looking for insurance here in the ninth. 1-0. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Weston Eberle behind the plate. It's back even at 1-1. Dembeck walked in the 7th, the only Rockford base runner in that frame. In case you're just joining us, all the runs in this one coming in the 5th. 1-1, misses low, and there's a snap throw down to first base, and they get Sam Beers. Eberle caught the pitch outside to the righty Dembeck, and Beers was caught off first base. So now there's one away and nobody on.
Larry Eberle has shown off his arm so often tonight, and that time gunning out a runner.
2-1, misses inside, and it's 3-1.
And he's shown off that snap throw, not afraid to hose one down the line. And Beers wasn't even leading that far off the bag. Just, it was very quick, and Beers was taken off guard, to say the least.
Dorda has his sign and delivers the 3-1. Gets all the way to the backstop, and it's a 1-out walk. So instead of runners on first and second, it's just a runner on first with 1 out. Brings up the top of the order, and a guy that is oh so dangerous as of late, Jackson Dvorak. Rivets looking for insurance, already up 2.
Every game, it really seems like he puts most of his at-bats with a hard-hit ball in play. As a hit tonight, had 2 hits yesterday.
Senior headed to Lewis this fall. Takes the first pitch high from Dorda. and it's 1-0.
Now, Larry, he showed off with the glove last night, too. Made 2 scoops out of the turf to help out shortstop Brett Nowick.
The set at the letters from Dorda, and the 1-0. It misses outside and gets away from Eberle, and moving up to second is Simon Dembeck. So now there's a runner in scoring position. Adam, we talked about Eberle's defense, but that one just a lapse.
That time around, his defense did not work well for him. That one will be scored a pass ball. Probably just took his eyes off of it. Couldn't catch it straight.
Now there's a runner in scoring position for Dvorak. 2-0, hammered down the left field line, but well foul. That one was blistered, but had some hooking action and bounced off the artificial turf into the seats. Right into a crowd, but they look all right. And now the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Dvorak had an RBI single back in the 5th. Two-one from Dorda. Fastball catches the upper reaches of the zone. Perhaps a bit inside as well. Dvorak didn't like it, but it's back even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was upstairs at the letters. Not too many umpires will go that high with the strike zone. Usually it'll go knees to belt.
Nothing you can do about it now. Dorda sets and throws the 2-2. Hammered into left field, that time fair, and through for a base hit. Dembeck's being sent around third. Here's the throw from Lewis to the plate. There's going to be a play, and the throw is in time to get Dembeck. What a throw from the left fielder, Nadir Lewis. Adam, it was a bang-bang play at the plate. But all in all, Dembeck is the second out of the inning.
Larry, Nadir Lewis has an absolute cannon out of left field. That was a perfect throw to the plate, a perfect one bouncer into Weston Eberle's glove. And good credit to Simon Dembeck trying to go around the tag, having that wide turn off third base, but just cannot get the hand in before the tag was applied.
So the score remains Rockford 3, Green Bay 1. Dvorak moves up to second on the play, so there's runner in scoring position for Colton Klein. Takes a first pitch fastball outside for ball 1. Adam, that was likely the most exciting play that we've seen all night. Man, oh man. I was surprised to see Dembeck come around. He doesn't have great speed. As Dorda sets and delivers the 1-0. Fouled off by Klein, and it's 1-1.
It was pretty surprising that third base coach Matt Schmidt sent him around. As you mentioned, doesn't have great speed. And especially when you're up in this ball game, you can afford leaving the runner on base. So we did go with the tough decision to send him around. It was close, to his credit. Looked very close up here. Bang, bang play at the plate. And the few we've seen this season.
1-1 to Klein. Fastball misses outside, and a snap throw down to second base. Sends Dvorak sliding feet first into the bag. He's safe. The count is 2-1. But Adam, on the aggressive base running, on the road you always play for the win. At home you can play a little more conservatively because you have last ups. Of course, the Rivets up 3-1 in this one, but you want as many insurance runs as possible. Perhaps that's the rationale for the sent. 2-1 to Klein. Misses high and away, and it's 3-1.
And Larry, to Matt Schmidt's credit, Nadir Lewis was pretty out there in left field. That was about medium depth, and ball was not even cut off, so it just was a perfect throw and had to be, and that was the only way they were going to get Dembeck out. So a lot of credit goes to the Booyah defense.
3-1 from Dorda to Klein. Curveball right down the middle for a called strike. It looked like Klein knew it as Dorda painted the corner there, and now the count is full. Klein looking for his third hit of the night. He singled in the first and in the fifth. There's an RBI base knock in the fifth. Looking to bring Jackson Dvorak around from second base. Dorda sets at the chest and delivers the 3-2. It's cued off the end of the bat, and coming over to make the diving play is Colin Clefman, ranging to the second base side of the bag. So Rockford is set down. Lots of excitement in the ninth inning, but the Rivets are held off the board. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. Rivets up 3-1 over the Green Bay Booyah. Buckle your seatbelts. Last chance for the Booyah coming up on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom half of the ninth, Rivets on top of the Green Bay Booyah by a score of 3-1. JT Scarra sends Ross Thompson back out there to try and nail down the 2-inning save. He'll face the lower third of the Booyah order. Noah Granite, Ty Olnick, and Nick Santoro. Rivets looking for a win in the final game of the 2020 season. They're looking to snap a 3-game losing skid. Granite, the second baseman, has reached once tonight. And that fastball misses high. Thompson has been the best reliever so far, and it's a no-brainer to leave him out there.
There's a reason why JT Scarra wants him to close out the ball game, even if it means pitching multiple innings of work.
1-0, fouled straight back by Granite, and it's back even at 1-1.
Larry, you got to imagine that Thompson is one of the hardest throwers on the team. Throws in the upper 80s. He's even topped out at 91 miles per hour. Boasts a great slider as well to boot.
Working from the windup here. Holds the ball at the belt. Has his sign. And delivers the 1-1, and it hits Granite for the second time tonight. Noah got pegged back in the second, and the leadoff man is aboard. In the bottom of the ninth for Green Bay, they're down 2, and now the tying run steps to the plate in Ty Olnick.
Larry, that is not what the doctor ordered for the Screws. Of course, a tying run up at the plate and good speed off first base for Granite. One swing of the bat, could be a tie ball game. Olnick eyeing that short 282 right field porch.
Righty against lefty. First pitch. Fastball catches the outer half for a called strike, and it's 0-1. That first strike, oh so crucial. Olnick has one base hit today. Came back in the 5th inning. He came around to score for Green Bay's only run. 1 for 3 overall. 0-1 from Thompson. Fastball misses outside, just a bit more outside from the last spot, and the count is even at 1 apiece. Adam, you mentioned home run power from Olnick. Doesn't have one this year, but we've seen some pop in his bat. He's got 11 RBIs. Stares out at Thompson. Here's the 1-1. Fastball misses upstairs, and it's 2-1. Thompson has lost the zone a little bit.
Needs to find his command quick. Of course, Scarra wants him to get these final 3 outs. So dial back in there, mix and match, and try to find the corners.
Sets at the belt and delivers the 2-1. Fastball misses outside, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Wouldn't be the Rivets bullpen without a little drama.
They do have their fair share of losses and blown leads this season, to say the least.
Thompson looking to come back from 3-1. Here's the pitch to Olnick. Fastball called strike on the outer black, and now the count is full. The runner on first base, bottom of the ninth. Green Bay down by 2. Final regular season game for both these teams. Rivets looking to snap a 7-game losing streak on the road. Need Thompson to come through here. He sets and delivers the payoff pitch. Fastball misses low, and it's ball 4. Thompson puts the first 2 batters in the bottom half of the ninth aboard for Green Bay, and that will result in a mound visit from JT Scarra.
Scarra's had a lot of faith in his relievers this season. In fact, 7 relievers for the Screws have pitched in back-to-back outings. Thompson is one of those pitchers that have done that this season. He's been their best one. He doesn't have anyone warming up, and he wants the Rivets to end this season on a high note. It's been a very turbulent season, unpredictable with the COVID hiatus, losing 33 of the 34 players on the original roster, constructing an entirely new team that was thrown into the fire early on. And even though they're out of the playoffs, you got to imagine a lot is riding on this victory.
Rivets were in playoff contention up until last night, but they dropped a 4-0 loss to these Booyah, eliminating them. So Green Bay will play Fond du Lac tomorrow, but the Rivets are playing for pride here. And JT Scarra, the manager, has done a nice job with this squad, taking over with 14 games left in the season. So now there's 2 on and no out for Nick Santoro, the 9 batter. On second is Granite. On first is Olnick. Thompson looks in for the sign from Jake Kleekamp in the game, catching now. Here's the first pitch. It's squared to bunt. It's down the third baseline. It's a good one. Rolling foul. Picked up by Dembeck at third base. And the count is 0-1.
Larry, it feels like virtually everyone in this Green Bay lineup can get a bunt down, and they've had some good ones tonight. But once again, credit to the Rivets defense for just allowing that ball to roll foul. A lot of good ones up the line, but defense has made sure that those don't stay fair.
After entering this one 0 for 9 in his last 4 games, Santoro has 2 singles tonight. One here would be monumental. Green Bay chasing 2 in the bottom of the 9th. 0-1. Another square to bunt, and a fastball misses high and in as Santoro turned away from that one, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Thompson is a strong-willed character, especially on the mound. That's how you pitch around a bunt. You throw high and tight inside.
We'll see if Santoro scores again. He does not. The pitch is fouled off over the net, and now it's 1-2.
Green Bay was trying to use small ball in a different way there. Instead of the bunt, they had a double steal put on. Rivets have not done well with runners trying to take off them. It's just thrown out 2 runners since the restart.
We'll see if they send him again. Granite off second, Olnick off first. Thompson comes set and delivers the 1-2. It's hammered the opposite way into right field. Playable for Troy Tucci. He makes the catch. Faking towards third. On the tag is Granite, but he stops there, and now there's 1 away. 2 more outs left for Green Bay. They're down 3-1. Bottom half of the 9th. They've got 2 runners on, and now the batter is the leadoff man, Colin Clefman.
Larry, that was a great bounce-back batter for Ross Thompson. He had a lot to work with there. A couple bunts going on. The Green Bay Booyah attempting to double steal, not having his command, but he bounced back. He stayed tough, and now the Revs are just 2 outs away from having their first victory in the last 4 games.
First pitch to Clefman. Ground ball up the middle. This could do it. Hamilton fumbles it. Stepping on second is Nowick. He throws on to first. Not in time. What a play from the Rockford shortstop, Nowick. And they didn't get the runner. They did get the runner. The call was unclear from the third base umpire. Lots going on there. The ground ball was the second. Hamilton knocked it down, but Nowick fielded and stepped on the bag to retire Olnick at second base. The signal was not clear, so Olnick started walking towards the dugout, but then a few people thought he wasn't called out, but it turns out he was. So reaching on the fielder's choice is Clefman. Moving up to third is Granite. Runners on the corners. Green Bay down to their final out. A 3-1 ball game in favor of Rockford. It's down to Cameron Tilley. First pitch. Swung on and missed. He got a piece of it off the mask of Kleekamp, and it's 0-1.
Talk about the drama heading into the bottom of 9th, as the Booyah had runners on first and second, and Thompson has battled back in a crazy series of events.
Rivets looking to finish an up and down 2020 campaign on a high note. Thompson sets and delivers the 0-1, swung on and missed. And the Rivets are a strike away from winning the final game of the season. 0-2 on Cameron Tilley. Hitless today. Had a sac fly in the 5th. Thompson looks in for the sign. He's got it. Sets at the belt. Here comes the 0-2. It's popped up foul. We'll do it again.
Larry, you can almost see the fire in the eyes of Ross Thompson. He's walking back on the mound, trying to collect himself, knowing how big this win would feel for the team's pride.
He stepped on the back of the mound, took a breath, and he's back on the rubber. Right in the middle of the slab. He's got the sign from Kleekamp. Ready for another 0-2. It's on the way. Breaking ball misses outside, and moving up to second and stealing it successfully is Colin Clefman. So now a single could tie the ball game. Green Bay down to their final strike, 1-2 count on Tilly. But they're trailing by 2, 3-1 Rockford. Now this pitch becomes even bigger. Granite on third, Clefman on second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to third base. Dembeck, Fields, throws. The stretch from Dvorak is good. And the Rivets win the final game of the 2020 season. They take the victory over Green Bay by a final score of 3-1.
A lot happened there in the ninth inning. The Screws were held scoreless in the top half, thanks to a net swing throw from Nadir Lewis to cut down Simon Dembeck to end the top half of the frame. In the bottom of the ninth, Ross Thompson allowed a hit by pitch and a walk, but worked around attempted bunt, attempted double steal, worked around a little pinball up the middle from the Rivets defense. And in the end, he came out with the 6-out save as the Rivets do win their final game of the regular season.
So after losing 12 of their last 13 games, the Rockford Rivets, after a tumultuous 2020 season, finish the year on a high note. We'll be right back after this to wrap up the game and wrap up the 2020 campaign. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Radio. Rivets come out on top of this one, 3-1. We'll be right back. Welcome back to CCU Park, where the Rockford Rivets have taken the final game of the 2020 summer season over the Green Bay Booyah by a final score of 3-1. Here are the totals. First, for the victorious Rockford Rivets, 3 runs on 9 hits, no errors, and 8 runners left on base. For the Booyah, 1 run on 8 hits, 1 error, and 9 left. The winning pitcher is Sam Vomhoff, who pitched a scoreless 4th inning, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 2. The tough luck loss goes to Jacob Pink, who was solid through 5 innings, but allowed 3 earned runs, all of them coming in the top half of the 5th. He surrendered 4 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Getting the save is Ross Thompson after 2 scoreless innings to end it. And boy, oh boy, did it come down to the wire, Adam Cohen, as Thompson stranded runners on 2nd and 3rd to end it.
Larry, it got really intense, and I got to talk to Jacob Taft before the game, and he said that Ross Thompson is a dog on the mound. He is mentally tough, and we saw that in the bottom of the 9th. When things got going rough, when he didn't have his command, he buckled down and got that first out. Then afterwards, a little bit of tough outing from his defensively, but they still managed to get the out. So mental toughness there for the Screws defense, which knocked him in error in the last 2 games, something that has not been done for such time for the Screws. So great job by Thompson and the Rivets defense to hold on to that really close ball game, especially against a team that eliminated from postseason contention. They came back to win this one and feel good and come out on a high note.
So the Rivets win their 43rd and final game of a COVID-shortened 2020 season. The Rivets end with a record of 16 wins and 27 losses. The Booyah end the regular season with a record of 18 wins and 28 losses. So the Booyah will move on to the playoffs, of course, as they clinched in last night's victory over the Rivets. They will play the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders tomorrow at Hare Baker Field in Fond du Lac at 6:35 p.m. The winner of that game will move on to play the winner of the semifinal in the Wisconsin-Illinois West between Wisconsin Rapids and La Crosse. The season, I should say, comes to an end for the Rockford Rivets as they get a team picture down the right field line right now. And Adam, taking a look at the big picture here, the Rivets threw together a roster in about 4 days after 33 of their 34 original players that opened the season with Rockford departed all at once after a staff member tested positive for COVID-19. It was really a disaster. It was looking grim. Chad Bauer and company not only found a whole new roster, but they found a whole new coaching staff. And even though they only managed 2 wins in 14 games, it really was quite the story.
Larry, if you had to describe this team in one word, it would be resilience. From the front office, the technical difficulties that our crew helped us through, from the team that lost 12 out of the last 13 games before winning this one. This is a resilient team. This is a resilient ball club. In the end, they are victorious in their final game. At the very end, there was baseball this year, even after COVID struck, even though there was a hiatus. And we are oh so fortunate that we got to witness all these ball players play. From the original team to the newer team. It has been so much fun this season. We really hope that the players have enjoyed themselves just as much, if not more so, than we have. And Larry, it has been great working with you all season long.
Adam, it's certainly been fun from the first roster where we may have seen a handful of Major League ball players to the second roster where we saw a lot of D3 and NAIA and junior college grinders. It was quite the season. Lots of good baseball throughout and hard fought at that. We may have seen the best Rockford Rivets team of all time in the beginning of the season. We may have seen the worst Rockford Rivets team of all time near the end of the season. But in the end, it doesn't matter as the Rivets fall short of the playoffs, as they miss again. The last time they made it was 2017. But like you said, Adam, what really matters in the end is we saw some baseball this summer. And in a season where the Cape Cod League was canceled, the Grand Collegiate Summer League out on the East Coast, a number of other summer leagues wiped out throughout the United States, the Northwoods League persevered and pushed through as they moved to a pod format, and the Rivets came in last in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod. But it was fun to be at the ballpark every day, and all things considered, it was a distraction from everything going on in the real world.
Larry, this summer brought a sense of normalcy to a very tumultuous year where almost everything seemingly has been tough and difficult for so many people across the globe. But it was just nice to come to a baseball game every day, have some decent amount of fans, socially distanced, of course, and see some good baseball being played. And that's what the Rivets left off of. They were a little bit sloppy since the restart. Pitching, defense really struggled. Offensive they struggled as well. But tonight it was a very clean ball game. The offense came through when they needed to. The pitching, there were so many relievers in the ball game, but they all were on point. They all were clutch, especially Ross Thompson towards the end, who got the sits-out save. And in the end, they got to have their heads up high, feeling good about themselves and feeling good. We got to play baseball at this time.
That about does it from Capital Credit Union Park in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Adam, any final thoughts?
It's just been a really fun summer to watch everyone play. Really glad that they won on a high note. Yeah, it's just been a summer to remember for everyone. It's unfortunate to make the playoffs, but once again, this is a resilient Rivets team that battled thick and thin. So once again, a lot of shout to everyone in the Rivets Stadium team from the Rivets players to the front office to our webcast crew, from all the interns, from my fellow broadcaster, Larry Larson. It's been a great summer, and we're all should be so grateful that it happened.
We are all grateful, to say the very least. My thanks go out to the Northwoods League, Chad Bauer, the general manager of the Rockford Rivets, Brian Fish, Josh Keim, former Rivets manager, JT Scara, current Rivets manager, all the players that we have dealt with, my parents, my grandmother, my girlfriend, etc., etc. It has been quite the summer of 2020. Certainly one that I won't be forgetting anytime soon. I'm sure the Rivets feel the same way. That about does it for our final broadcast of 2020. Again, the final. The Rockford Rivets come out victorious over the Green Bay Booyah by a final score of 3-1. It has been a true pleasure delivering these broadcasts to you all summer long, and I hope we have been able to bring you a little bit of baseball joy. So for my partner, Adam Cohen, I'm Larry Larson saying a final so long from Capital Credit Union Park in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Have a good night. So long, everybody.